And we are live. Hey, Concrete.
Hey, Danny girl, what's good with ya?
Girl, nothing much. What's going on?
Girl, not a whole lot of today. Ooh, I have been busy and it's still a busy week. A busy next couple weeks. But what's been going on with you, Miss Birthday Woman? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Girl, another year older, still fine, baby, still fine, child. I'm
Yes.
about to cuss all y'all butts out. I want
Uh-oh.
to first. I
Mm-hmm.
want to send a very special shout out to everybody who came through to wish me a happy birthday. So thank you
Yes.
guys so much. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And
Oh.
then I'm gonna cuss y'all ass out for calling me 52. MGTOW, you on my list. Damn, 52. I'm the best
He
52 you
tried
ever
it.
seen, man.
He
Come get this 52
tried.
year old advice.
Listen, he tried it, sis. He truly did. Um, listen, you
Everybody's
looking
saying I look
good.
like I lost weight, but I didn't.
I'm telling you, face looks slim. You look refreshed. Maybe we need to take vacations more
I'm
often.
just thinking, child, maybe.
Refreshed.
I was like, damn.
um, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. What's tea though, child? What's tea?
Girl, yay has
Wait, do
been
you have
ordered.
anything to share before we get off into that? I'm sorry.
No, how was your Thanksgiving? We didn't talk about
My
that.
Thanksgiving was good. It was busy. I was on my feet all day. I don't know how people start cooking like the Sunday, the Tuesday, the Thursday before Thanksgiving, baby. But
I don't
typically,
want
me,
it. If you cook that early, I don't want it.
I cook all my food on Thanksgiving Day. Now, I will cook my cakes and pies the night before, like 10 o'clock the night before, 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock the night before. And so I did start, I did my sweet potato pies. My daughter has a baking business, so she helps bake the desserts. And I did two cakes the night before, and then she did the other two desserts. And then all the other food I cooked the day of. So I was tired as heck. And then I had to turn around and I went to like meet some in-laws, or not in-laws, some in-laws, I guess, yeah, that I've never met of my husband's people and that actually live here in Georgia. And that was a good time.
Okay.
It was so fun. And yeah, so
Nice.
that was my Thanksgiving. It was very fun and enjoyable. I enjoyed myself. How about you? Well,
Oh,
anyways, um,
no. I'm gonna say
mhm,
I love my husband. We spent time with my
Demetrius.
in-laws, with both
Good.
sets of my in-laws,
Okay.
and we enjoyed ourselves thoroughly. We really did.
Uh,
Hey, shit.
anyways,
No, but the only thing, and I
mhm.
want to whisper this, babe. I think something going the kitchen on fire, babe. Go check on it.
Go check on it, bro.
Go
Currently,
check on the kitchen,
go
babe. I think
ahead. I
something
think
on
I
fire
hear
in
the
there.
smoke detector right
Yeah,
now.
child, I had a keto Thanksgiving. It was keto,
Interesting.
and
I
I
ain't
was
never
looking.
ever heard of that.
Girl, let me tell you how funny this was. So we got there and I could smell the
Mhm.
meats. They had some smoked turkey and they
Okay.
did some ribs. And so we get there and I'm like, hell yeah, this is about to be lit, right?
Mhm.
Hey babe, I love you, daddy.
Uh-oh. He
I
said,
love you,
don't
babe.
start. Don't
I
start
love you,
your
daddy.
mess. He said,
Listen.
don't start. No,
So
it won't be none.
so I go in the kitchen. I go in their kitchen. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I'm looking around. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, where the rest of the food at? And
Uh-huh.
Curlin like, don't worry, babe, I got you. I fix your plate. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he comes over and there was some smoked turkey and ribs and
Okay.
some meat and some squash and zucchini and some
Okay.
spinach.
That's it. Okay. Well, okay, we're gonna leave that there. Bro Curlin said don't start.
No, it was delicious. I'm
Okay.
just used to I'm just used to a little starch
Yeah,
in
the
my life.
carbs. You used to the carbs on
I was
Thanksgiving.
like, "Woo, child." We
They
going to my family next year
said,
though.
let me tell you something, baby. I ate so many carbs. I ain't even eat bad on Thanksgiving
That's why I
because
look slim. You know what?
that's it.
That's it.
You know how
Hey,
when
you
you
know
cook
what?
all
I take it
day,
back. I take it back, babe.
it
That
helped.
y'all
Yes.
came up with some shit then, cause
Yes, listen. That's why everybody like, ooh, sis, you losing weight. You looking good. That was avoiding those carbs,
that's
avoiding that
exactly what
dressing, that mac and cheese, baby, them
yes.
yams. Yes, look, I ate
That's
them
what it
all.
was.
You see my face,
Oh
baby.
shit. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it
I'm
was.
trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
Hey,
I was
you know
gonna
what?
ask you because
I'll
you
never
know.
tell him again.
Listen, he helped you out, sis. I was gonna ask you because you know they having the debate about people eating leftovers and how long is too long. If people still eating leftovers today, is it too far to still be eating left? Today is Wednesday.
I
Thanksgiving
mean,
was last Thursday. It's 6 days.
I am going to say,
Mm-hmm.
unless you put them shits in the freezer and you took them
Yes.
out,
Mm-hmm.
if you did not put them in the freezer and they have been sitting under your refrigeration, I'm gonna say it's very welfare-ish.
Baby, you
Very,
got a
very
cast iron stomach. You got that cast iron stomach.
it's hella ghetto. It's hella ghetto.
Listen,
No, thank you.
very. I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna lie. I froze some of my leftovers because I made too
That's
much freaking food.
different. Yeah,
I
I
I
think if
froze.
you freeze it, yeah, you can
Listen,
freeze it.
I froze a whole pie, and baby, that dressing was too good, and I didn't want to like. I cooked too much because we were
Bring
anticipating
me some
guests.
dressing.
And
Bring me some
listen,
dressing.
I'm gonna bring you some too. We were anticipating guests, and like 4 of the people that we were anticipating didn't come. No, 5. So I had too much food.
Yeah, bring me some
Look,
dressing.
like you ready to slap
And some
somebody in
meat.
the thumbnail. It might be you,
No.
JTC.
So
But what else is good? Let's move on for bro Curlin go off.
yeah, I know
He
I
said
love
that's
him. That's my
disgusting.
babe. That's my
Of
babe. That's my
course.
baby. That's my
Of
pumpkin.
course. It's been a lot going on. I feel like we ain't been here in a minute, and it's a lot going on. What's tea, child?
Um, child, you had Yay getting ready
Mm-hmm.
to pay that 200K in child support.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people are up in arms,
Mm-hmm.
but I looked at that situation and I said it could have been much worse.
Well, the
Um
man just lost over half of his 70% of his fortune, though. She don't
Apparently
need
he ain't
child
lose
support for them
enough.
kids.
Kim say she needs child support.
She
And
don't.
this is the thing, so people will say, $200,000 is too much money for any child. There's a lot of money. Well, Kim K is not like normal people. Kim K needs additional types of security. They don't live the same type of nine to
That's
five
50K
lifestyle that
per
we
child per month.
look.
That's more than the average person makes per year in a
Yes,
month per child.
yes, yes. Kim K has those types of expenses. She's not getting her
She
piano
needs to
lessons
scale
from
back.
scale back for what?
Scale back. Go try to sign up for some PEBT for them kids or something. Listen. Did he needs to have somebody rig them? I know people that could rig his taxes for him. I'm trying to tell you, he needs to go having his stuff amended, baby. I know some people that know some people.
If he thought the Jews was bad, he should see the damn CIA. He should talk to the what you call it? The IRS.
Yeah.
He thought the Jews was bad. Shit.
I'm trying to tell you, they don't need all that stuff. They don't need private school and guards and all that type of stuff, baby. Them kids can scale back. They can go to Donda Academy up the street for free.
Not Donda.
He'll babysit them. They don't need all them nannies, 4-5 nannies and all that. She can scale back.
Kim say she got more sex tapes to produce. Kim say she got shit to do.
That man already going through a crisis. That's not right.
No, he got the money. He got it.
But we always talk about how these women trying to take black men to the cleaners in child support. Why we ain't advocating for Ye?
Because Ye decided to sign up for that, and he was happy to be there. Even when she broke up with him, even when she went back to the White Willie, he was like, he wants his family back. And this is a way to get there. Pay the child support. Be on time. Do that.
Oh, okay.
Do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And shout out to Miss Let's Go, $200K per month for 4 kids. That's over at max 18 years. That's 43.2 million. He got off easy.
Oh,
that's
my
exactly my point. Because it probably could have been much worse.
Wow.
Much worse. So I think he got off easy too. I actually did. I think he got off easy because we know how Cam get.
Baby, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Shout out to B. He says, just taking a moment to credit Concrete for being a team player. After Danny froze her out of Tough Talk TV, she was able to move past that and is now a part of Tough Talk, even if it's stinking. Kudos. Anyway, have a good show, y'all. You know what? Look, can I give you a theory?
Go ahead.
I have always wondered if B was a gay man because B throws like gay shade. You got like regular shade and then you have like gay shade.
Listen, he comes with the extra shade. Like his shade be A1. When
I say that shade be like, I'm gonna stab you in the throat. Be like, oh, fuck.
It do. It do. I don't know if it's anybody in the space that tops his shade. He might be.
B, are you a heterosexual?
He might be a good Judy. Are you a good Judy B?
And I'm only saying that because the shade be so goddamn. The shade to have me fight be in the middle of the street. The shade to have me being aggressive.
I better not ever run up on you in the street, B.
B is hell. Oh, a shout out to my man, Mr. Curlin. Hey, Daddy. He says, to be honest, Ye probably got off pretty good. And they in Cali, it was going to be bad regardless. All he got to do is put that 40 milli in an interest-bearing account or in the market, set up auto pay, and not worry about it at all. Oh, that's why I really like Mr. Curlin, baby. That thing know about some money, honey.
Listen, he's a thinker.
The first man I ever trusted to flip my taxes, child. I am so excited.
He wasn't taking it to the streets either.
No, girl,
he wasn't on the block flipping it either.
He bought it back, child. So, shout out to you, babe.
I love to see it. She said she let him flip the taxes. Yes. That's a down AB. Child.
Shout out to JTC. He says Brittany Renner tried to get that amount and failed. Maybe because she's white.
Okay. Isn't Kim Kardashian?
Where was she gonna get it from? Her man wasn't making that kind of money.
Ain't Kim Kardashian white too?
And Brittany Renner is not white.
Oh, she mixed. Oh, maybe it's because Kim Kardashian is white, he's saying.
Oh,
maybe it's
okay.
Kim is white.
Okay. Baby, I was like, Brittany's kind of black.
Could be.
Yeah. But I was like, okay, I think I actually think he got off pretty good, and I absolutely agree with what Curlin said about just throwing the money up there in auto pay and being out. I'm wondering if she will actually go to increase that shit on him at some point. So I don't know. I don't know
He should have been like, let me just get custody of mine, because I ain't trying to pay that.
what he was gonna do.
Get custody. And let her pay child support. She got it.
Shit, the way that
Her
goddamn
net worth is more than his.
let me tell you this. Did you see
Hmm.
how her and her daughter did like a TikTok and the girl had got up in her face? I would
Oh
have whooped
yeah, I
Wes's
saw it.
ass. No, no, no.
She
What's her
think
name?
they think that type of stuff is cute.
Girl, yeah. She couldn't have been pointing in my face. I when I say I would have snatched her ass up so quick. But I want to know, there has been this thing going around called soft parenting, and I want to know your thoughts on soft parenting, and did that type of thing work for your children?
So I wasn't aware of soft parenting when my kids were young. I do know what it is. I'm actually in a soft parenting for Black people group. And I've been in it for 4 years. The very first group, like, so before, I think before it became mainstream, I was in this group, and they talk about a lot of techniques. I believe the group is headed by like a psychologist. She's a psychologist, and there's a bunch of therapists and people who specialize in the field also in the group, and people have questions and talk about the difficulties and stuff like that. So I've been familiar with the practice for some time. It was not something that I employed with my children. I wasn't aware of it. In addition, not only was I not aware of it, I didn't have the patience to practice or employ something like that. However, I do think that there are some benefits. I think that, there are some advantages to it. I think that you can minimize the trauma that your child might endure. I think that it allows you to see your children as people and to respect their boundaries. Sometimes some of the stuff is a little too far left leaning for me. I think that, it's very like, kind of like they're almost like, my husband always be like, oh, that's for them free range kids, raising free range kids. And I'm not necessarily a fan of that, but I do think that it's important to respect your children's boundaries, to explain things to your children, to, I do think that that there are some benefits to it. So I wouldn't just dismiss it as a whole and say this is a bunch of bull. I think that there are some
Mhm.
benefits, especially for us as Black people, because as Black people, we grew up kind of, our parents were hard on them, so our parents were hard on us, and oftentimes that is how we parent. So
Right.
because of me coming into knowledge of, soft parenting, I do things different with my adult children. I have conversations with them, like, because I'm still parenting them, even though they're adults, they still require my guidance, and I am more aware of how I interact with them because of that practice. But what do you think about it? You putting it into practice with your own?
It depends on the situation. And
Okay.
I think things should be catered to your children.
Hmm.
You have children that sometimes that shit will work, and then you have times where you need to bear down and do what you have to do in order
Mm.
for your results to play out in the end. Now,
Hmm.
that being said, I do think you should allow your child to have boundaries. You should teach your children respect for themselves first and foremost, because when it comes down to like the respect factor or the boundaries and stuff like that, I think a lot of things play out when those things haven't been set up at a baseline. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And when it comes down to certain things, I just feel like um Me, okay, if Solomon gets in trouble at school, and it depends on what it's for. If he got in trouble for disobeying and showing his ass and doing
Mhm.
things that he wasn't supposed to be doing, I'm not gonna handle that. Like if he got in trouble for having like a messed up opinion or something that everybody didn't agree with or something that he
Mhm.
may have disagreed with his teacher about, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
bear down on him for that because there's a certain I'm teaching him to think for himself. I want him
Yep.
to think for himself. But now if you showing your ass and you know better, then I don't think gentle parenting is appropriate for
Right.
that behavior in
Yeah,
my
that's what it's
household.
called, gentle parenting. Yeah.
Right. So I don't it depends on the situation. And I think it also depends on the sensitivity of your child. Some children are more sensitive than others. Some kids get it and be like, okay, whatever, whatever. And then some kids, you're not going to be able to take a certain tone with them because they're not going to listen to you at all, period, point blank, if they're a certain way. So
I
yeah,
think when
I
we
don't know.
think of gentle parenting, like for me, when I was first introduced to the concept, I thought of gentle parenting. I thought of gentle parenting. Like when I first started thinking of gentle parenting, I was like, oh, gentle parenting is what those kids that be in the grocery store, they mamas be gentle parents and that be
They
in the middle of the grocery store aisles cutting the food. Then you can tell they mama gentle parenting. I don't want that. So that's what I thought of when I thought of gentle parenting. However, I do think that, like I said, there are some benefits. I've always been a very strong advocate for my children and their voices because I know my children and I know that, first of all, I have one of my children is very timid. And I've
right,
always, because of that, encouraged her to use her voice and advocated for her when she was using her voice and made sure that there was a space for her voice to be heard. So that is very important, like you said about Solomon, and not, when you're like standing up for him, as it relates to him kind of owning his autonomy. But I do think that, every child can benefit from gentle parenting in one way or another. I don't think that children just I don't believe in just giving your child free range, but I do
right,
believe in giving. I do think that there should be space to allow your child to grow and foster individuality in themselves, from a young age. Like, and this is coming from a parent. I was a helicopter
mhm,
mom, but I've always been very controlling. Like, I didn't allow my children to ever pick out their own clothes, ever. Like, probably until my kids was like 13, 14. Like, I was picking up their own clothes. Like, literally, my
oh
kids, like,
wow,
they could never have those days where they'd be like, even play clothes, like, no, this is what you wearing today. Like, that's how controlling I have had the tendency to be. So I could see the benefit in that. And I could see that I stifled my children in some ways, and, I regret that. So if I could go back and do certain things all over again and adopt some of those gentle parenting practices, I absolutely would.
this is what I want to ask
Hey,
from
Angie
you,
girl.
Angie.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. So I was watching a podcaster or a YouTuber. Her name is
Mm-hmm.
Nima Speaks. I can't remember
I
which
think I've heard of
video
her.
I can't remember which video it was, but she was talking about the audacity that white men have
Mm-hmm.
over all races of men. She was saying that white men have the most audacity.
Mm-hmm.
And what it made me think about soft parenting, and being that um they're raised a certain way, like if they've been able to get away with a lot of things, and then they grow up and then they have the audacity or they feel like they can do whatever it is that they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
does that really make a difference? Because it really kind of made me think about how we discipline our children and how they discipline their kids, which there is a difference to me
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of ways. Is a difference. And it kind of made me think about, like, they're softer on their children, but their children tend to do things to further their entitlement. They, you know what I mean? It made me think
Yeah.
about that. I want to
I
know what
think
you
I
think.
don't think that we can do things the way white parents. I don't think we can raise our children the way white parents raise their children, because the world treats our children differently, and our children have different experiences in the world. And as a
Right.
result, it is necessary for us to prepare our children for the world. However, I do think that balance is important. I do think that there is a space for our children to have their own voices and have their voices heard and have their boundaries respected and develop their own autonomy. Whereas they haven't in the past, because our parents haven't in the past, because their parents haven't in the past. Like, I do think that there is space and room for improvement in how Black parents typically parent. I think that, there is something that could be learned from gentle parenting for most people that I know, because most of us, most of us parent from a place of trauma, and that's not necessarily good. We're inhibiting our children because of our fears, and oftentimes we're not even explaining to our children why. And it's just, we've always had this do as I say mentality when it comes to our children. And
Right, right,
how,
right.
I don't think that that's necessarily a good thing, personally.
Interesting. JTC, like I said, I came across a video and I clicked on it. And when she was talking about the audacity of white men versus black men, it made me think about how we're treated in how, excuse me, how men are treated, and the way white men are disciplined versus the way black men are disciplined. And it made me think about soft parenting. So that's where I was like, interesting. Shout out to Black Wizard. He says, "We Black people discipline for compliance." I think that is absolutely true. I think that's absolutely true. But when it comes down to men being leaders and doing whatever it is that they want to do, um, compliance is a different thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you've been allowed to do whatever you want to do, you don't understand the word no. I think you do um get to be a little bit more driven towards your goals or whatever it is that you want to do, because you haven't had anybody tell you no for a lot of things. But I think there's another side of that that people ignore when people are in power. So
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about very, very rich people. Very, very rich people and people are that are at the top. Nobody gets all the way to the top without playing dirty at some point. I just don't see it.
Absolutely.
I just don't think it's a thing.
Absolutely.
And when we talk about society and who people remember, people don't remember you because you had integrity or because you were
Mm-hmm.
such a great
Because you play by
person.
the rules. Yeah.
They don't remember you because you played by the rules. People remember you because you said fuck the rules and you did what you wanted to do. And people tend to gravitate to a lot of people like that. We say we love good people, but we see who's at the top and we see how much love they get too.
Guys,
So
what finish last, baby? We know that. People who make history. It's what is the saying? Like, there's a saying, like, people who follow the rules seldomly make history. Like, it is the rule
right.
breakers, it's the risk takers, the people who are not afraid to take risk and do things that have never been done. Even like in sometimes even those infamous people, even the Donald Trumps, the
Right.
Elon Musk, you know what I mean? The
That's
people
a
like
great
that.
point because Donald Trump is not a rule follower. And Donald
Mm-mm.
Trump has said some of the dumbest shit. Donald Trump has done some of the he has. And it is what it is.
Some of the most
But we don't
offensive,
remember. We
yeah.
don't remember him
Some
for
of the
that.
most offensive, insulting things you can say on a mic, Donald Trump has said it. He does
Yeah.
not play by the rules.
And we don't
Yeah.
remember Donald Trump for those things. We remember Donald Trump for winning an election. We remember Donald Trump for being a president. We don't remember Donald Trump for calling Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig. We don't
I
remember him
remember Donald
saying,
Trump for all of the absurd things. Like me, we laugh
I
about the
remember.
absurd. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think that the public does, that media does. I think that if Donald Trump had played by the rule, he would just be another president in the long line of president. He stands out because he did not play by the rules. He
Facts.
stands out
So
because he didn't play by the rules.
I thought that was interesting. That's real interesting.
I did
Shout
too.
out to okay, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I agree with you.
Okay. Shout out to JTC. He says, I'd argue we don't discipline that much better. We behave horribly in public schools and with law enforcement.
I think I would
It's not the
say
majority though.
yeah, I would say not. That's absolutely not the majority. I agree with you, Danny. And I would say that we're moving away from the way in which we disciplined. But I would also say that we don't have healthy parenting styles and healthy parenting skills either. So even those who aren't heavy on the discipline, oftentimes they still don't have healthy parenting skills. They don't have, help. They still believe in that, do as I say, not as I, like they still employ
Right.
some of those same things that their parents employed, and they use those same tactics when parenting, even if they're not heavy on the discipline.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I agree. Well, a child, do you have any more tea, child?
I
I thought that was
I
good.
had something, a couple things. Dang. Okay. One of the things that I had was in relation to this topic, and now I can't think of it. Okay, so one of the things that I have is oh, okay. So I saw a story
Wait a minute.
where
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Just a second. Just thought this was a really, really good point that Eisen made. He says it might not be the majority, but them niggas are celebrated. And that's the thing. We celebrate bad people on both sides. A city girl is going to be celebrated much more than a girl who is sweet and kind and extra maybe not in this space, child, but y'all, nah, I'll take that back. Y'all like hoes too. So
mm,
you got a point. That's true. But I think that's with all races of people. People who don't follow the rules are often celebrated. Everybody loves a rebel. So I think
did
that's
we
a
miss
interesting
Black
point.
Wizard super chat? He said.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought, okay. Sorry about that. Shout out to Black Wizard. He says, that's what I mean, SG. We don't discipline to build character. We discipline to make people do what they're told. Hard to be a man raised like that. That is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes down to discipline does not always have to be you getting your ass whooped, but sticking to a goal, um
Mm-hmm.
finding
Mm-hmm.
a point and actually reaching that shit. And when you're having your ass beat because you done did something and you talk back or and shit like that, that doesn't raise you to be a quote unquote man. It teaches you how to acquiesce. So I think that's a good word. I hope I used that right this time because y'all was on my ass last show. But yeah, I
Yeah,
like
who
that.
was
I
that?
think that's a good point.
Conservative.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, okay, so I saw a story where a guy, his son had gotten all good grades and he was 9 years old. So he decided to take his son to Hooters to celebrate. And the internet felt some type of way about it. And I wanted to know what your thoughts are about it. 9 years old, he takes him to Hooters to celebrate getting good grades. Appropriate or not?
I am going to say that it's inappropriate,
Mm-hmm.
but I have also taken my son to Hooters.
Not Solomon.
Yeah, Solomon.
Uh huh.
Um, They weren't in there naked. Hooters is not the same thing as a strip club,
Mm-hmm.
but the girls were walking around in the little shorts, and the shorts are getting shorter because I was actually at Hooters last week for some wings myself.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I've taken Solomon to Hooters before. Um, it didn't make him doing it. He didn't react any different than when we were at any other different restaurant. He enjoyed the burgers and the little curly fries that they used to have because I didn't get no fries this time. But he enjoyed it, and like nobody thought anything of it. But at the same token, let me say this. Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not like the Hooters girls are cursing and cursing each other out, and it's not like they pouring wine and shit over each other. It ain't like they bathing in a hot tub with oil and shit like that. They just walk around a bit scantily clad, and yeah, I've taken them. It's nothing
So
deep.
how, like, what's too far? Because they say Magic City got the best wings in the A, best lemon pepper wings in the A. Would you take them to Magic City?
No, Magic City is
Oh.
an actual strip club where they show TNA girl, and
Oh, okay.
it's like
I'm
no,
just
because I
asking.
I actually think there is a total difference in
Hmm.
putting your child in certain adult situations and then them not understanding adult situations versus
Hmm.
you taking them into an environment. Nobody's cursing you out at Hooters. Nobody's twerking at Hooters. They just walk around in some little tiny ass shorts. It wouldn't be no
Hmm.
different if they went to the beach. You would take your child to the beach, right?
So sorry. Let me first give my opinion on it. So I understand both sides of the argument. Um, I don't think that I would necessarily take my 9-year-old son to Hooters
Mm-hmm.
because I understand that the Hooters is designed um to encourage. It's Hooters is basically for the male gaze. Hooters is a restaurant that is designed around the male gaze. It
Mm-hmm.
is designed with women scantily clad, boobs out. They look for, you have to fit a certain aesthetic in order to even be hired at Hooters. They're designed for men to gawk at the women, objectify the women, if you will. And for me, I probably wouldn't take my 9-year-old son, but I think that in this day and age, you're likely to see somebody dressed with as little clothes on as a Hooters girl just walking down the street. In any mall in Atlanta, you're going to see just at anywhere in Atlanta, you're going to see a woman with as little clothes on as a Hooters girl. That is very commonplace. You don't even have to go to a beach. So I do understand the argument that you don't have to go to Hooters to see as much tits and A, like that's not very uncommon to see someone as scantily clad as the girls in Hooters. I think originally, if this was 20 years ago, then maybe one may have a valid argument and one may say, yeah, that's uncommon for a young boy that age to even see that. But he ain't got to go far. On his way to school, he might see somebody dressed like that or have as
Yeah.
much skin showing. So I get it.
Soul Provider, they got some baddies in Atlanta, honey. The surgery is at a all-time high. You gonna see some women here that's gonna make you say, damn. And I am a heterosexual woman, and I be
Mm-hmm.
like, damn,
Ooh.
child. Yeah, they go hard. Shout out to Mr. Curlin. He says Hooters in this day and age, that's rated G. I
Listen,
mean,
listen. I agree.
BBLs is not baddies. They baddies with clothes on. Now I heard something different when they take their clothes off now. But because a lot of men say the bodies look distorted when they take their clothes off. But in them clothes, if they got enough covered up, they look good. Like it is what it is.
Hmm.
And we can't say that guys are not attracted to a small waist and wide hips, especially black men. That's y'all shape. That's what y'all love. Honey, I was there at one point, but that's what y'all like. Y'all like,
But
and it
they
wasn't
want a
initially a
small waist
BBL
and
shape.
wide hips. They want a
Huh?
small waist and wide hips, but not an ant body, not not a Barbie
No,
doll,
child, not like that.
not listen. That it don't even look right to me. Like it I'm gonna tell you something. I'm a woman. However, I think women with cellulite look better than like it just don't look right on
It
most of the
depends now.
time.
If you got
9
like a
times out of
BBL
10.
extreme, yeah. Like if you got a
Because then
BBL
everybody getting
extreme,
the double BBLs now, so it's just
what is a double BBL, child?
I guess they fill it up twice. Like you get more pushing for the cushion. You get more.
Oh
Yeah, I don't
gosh.
know. I guess I'm not a man, so yeah. But
Concrete.
anyways, okay.
They ready for us to start the college, child.
I don't really have. I thought I had some stuff. Most of my stuff is related to the topic, so we can get off into it. As you guys see, we're actually doing a dating advice call-in show. What that means is just what it sounds like. We're actually going to be giving dating advice. So not just dating advice, any kind of relationship advice, marriage advice. If you having relationship problems with mom them, with your sister them, whomever, you can call in or not call in. You can click the link and join the panel. It'll just be you and us, and you can give us your scenario. And this is not going to be us trolling. We will actually listen to your scenario and we'll give you solid advice that, we on what we feel you should do or how we feel you should proceed. So yeah, that's exactly what we're doing tonight. Something different. We switching it up a little bit, doing something a little different. We're only going to be taking one person at a time, and we're gonna give you our, 2-to-1 attention, and just kind of, ask you a few questions about your scenario and get a little bit more information on what it is you're seeking advice on, and we'll give you our honest opinion on how you should proceed. And yeah, this is not us trolling at
Now,
all. I
B,
know y'all
that
always think we're trolling.
that's different. And us, it's not gawking at other women, but you recognize the greatness. You'd be like, okay, she got a nice shape, and you'd be like, oh, okay, all right, it's
Ah,
not that deep. It ain't like
listen,
y'all looking at. Mm,
I know when a woman
mm.
got a nice shape. I mean, when
Right.
a man got a nice physique, like, dang, his
Because they
pecs,
swear that's what we
you
want,
know,
though. They be
dang,
telling
them
us what we like.
deltoids. He know them deltoids. Ooh, listen, he know too. He been leg day. He ain't missed a leg day yet. You
You
know too
already know.
when a man's body is on point. And we women, we know when a woman's body is on point. We just ain't afraid to say, like, sis look good. Sis, her body is on point.
Oh, babe, I need me a drink. Mr. Curlin. Mr. Curlin, we
Dr.
thirsty?
Steele, welcome to the panel. Danny, did you have anything that you want to add as it relates to what we're doing this evening before we start with Dr. Steele?
I just want you guys to know we're gonna do our best to give you guys some great advice, and
Yeah, solid
hopefully you
advice.
guys like it, and it could be a part of our show. There'll be a
Yeah.
regular segment or something. So let us know. I'm gonna read the super chat, and Dr. Steele will get right to you. Shout out to Mr. Curling. He says, "All natural is the way." Who wants a rubber band waist with church lady chicken wing arms that they gonna have to get redone in 3 years because they ain't changed anything about how they live? Not I said the Mr. Kurt. Baby, listen, I've been begging for surgery for months and months, and he won't let me. So here we are.
You don't need it.
Yes, I do.
I agree.
Mind your business. Go ahead, Dr. Steve.
Anyways, Dr. Steele, welcome to the panel. What is your scenario? What is it that you're seeking advice from C. Rose and Sister George on this evening?
Okay. I can remember when I was in my 20s or my 30s, I used to go out to the club and look for them. And there are lots of nice ladies that were my age at that time. Now, here I am at 52, and you barely see any places. You barely see places that are geared towards us. I mean, there's almost nowhere to go for us, where would I, a 52-year-old man, seek a good, seek a good looking woman who is my age or maybe in their 40s?
The gym.
The gym.
What type of what are the characteristics that you're looking for? So Danny said the gym, so that's provided. You're looking for someone that's fit, but what type of characteristics are you looking for? And are you looking for a long-term serious relationship or just a good time?
Good follow-up
Well, a
questions.
long-term relationship is actually what I prefer, and I would prefer. I, well, I'm not for sure what I actually want, but all I know is I do not like big women. I do not like ugly women, and I most definitely do not like women with bad attitudes. That's all I know.
Okay, that's okay. That gives us something to work with. No bad
Where do
attitudes, no
you
big women, no ugly women.
where do you normally hang out at?
Well, normally, me living in Millersville, I have to go. I used to go out to Macon, nearby Macon, to look for something. And nowadays, I have to go all the way out to Atlanta, for something. I mean, there's really nothing here, nothing where I live at right now.
Okay, so
So
you're South Georgia, right?
Well, mid Georgia, yeah,
Mid Georgia. That's
middle
considered middle
Georgia.
Georgia.
Mhm.
have you ever tried any dating sites?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
yeah, I did try dating sites,
What was
and
your experience?
well, and this was when I was younger. I did hook up with one person, but unfortunately, things went sour at that point. And in the dating sites, lately, it's like I could barely. I see some good looking people, but they don't reply. And if I did have somebody that reply, it's somebody who I'm not interested in. That was my
Mm,
experience in these dating sites. And then I tried, and then once I discovered, well, the content creators of YouTube, I got on Melody King's site and did have, one person who contacted me. Then I got on Kendra G's site
mhm.
and got 11 hookups, but quickly it just all trickled down, you know.
What do you
To be
think women
completely honest,
were let me ask him this. What do you
go ahead.
think what kind of women were approaching you?
Well, most of the time, most of them did not even have pictures at all.
Mm.
So I do not know what they look like. But like I said, I am getting well in contact with one of them, and there was two to where the look wasn't really favorable to me for some reason.
To be completely honest, Eugene, in my opinion, I think that you will fare better in one or two settings. In, like social clubs, like places where you can kind of get to know the person first, and or like I know people are of the mindset that social media is not, like different social media realms are not for dating, but anywhere that you're interacting socially with people of the opposite sex can become a space where you meet somebody. Danny shares her experience regarding how she met Curlin, from Facebook groups to, any kind of social media platform that you're on, where you find yourself engaging with people that seem to be a person or two that seem to be like-minded. You guys seem to have the same interests, commenting on the same types of things, or, having the same type of mindset regarding certain, major issues. I think those are going to be good starting points for you. Either that or like in-person meetings. If, there's a social club that you're a part of, churches, any place that you're at regularly that you get to kind of interact and she gets to kind of see your personality and see who you are offline. because I think that's probably where you'll shine best. So somewhere where you're interacting with someone regularly that you come across and you can kind of connect with them in that way, I think you'll fare better in those types of settings than maybe just the traditional dating site, personally.
Um, my advice would be to get to sites that are specifically catered to people over 50. I think when you enter the regular hustle and bustle of like the 20 and 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, a lot of times, a lot of people aren't necessarily looking for anything totally serious, but are looking for somebody to get them to the next level, or looking to play games, or looking to use you. When women have gotten to a certain point, um and you go to a certain site like that is specifically catered to people over 50, those women don't tend to play as many games as younger women. And you do have a lot of women that will actually keep themselves up, who may not be able to find anybody that's serious, or anybody
That's a
that's
good
taking
point.
them serious. So I think that would probably be the best thing, to see
That's
how
a
it
good
works
point.
out.
Do you have any interest, Dr. Steele? Like, do you have, like, for some people, like stepping, some people, like
And
to
we
play
gotta wrap it
music,
up
they're in a
soon.
band. Go ahead, Danny, what you say?
We got to wrap it up soon because we do have our
Okay,
next
yeah.
caller.
So, like if you have any interest, like, like I said, stepping, like dancing, some people play musical instruments. Some people are, people are into all different kinds of things that will get them out, and like they're like good ways or good avenues of meeting new people. If there are any kinds of things like that, there are like group me's. There's something called a group me where you can go online. It's called Group Me, and like you can meet people that are interested in the same thing, not strictly for the purpose of dating, but just for meeting new people. And it's a great way. Like, it's like you can actually develop friendships from things like that. But if you have any special interests, look into joining different group me's. Like if you read sci-fi or anything like that, you just meet up with people that are like-minded, and that's another good way of meeting new people.
All right, I'll try it. I really appreciate it.
No
Thank you
problem.
so
Good
much,
luck,
Dr.
Dr.
Steele.
Steele.
Okay, next we have Callie, West Miami. I'm going to read the super chat, Callie, and I want you to jump right on in. A shout out to Emerald Edge 72. He says two forms of attraction: object attraction, and natural attraction. Object attraction, BBLs, breast implants, etc. Natural attraction is seeing the woman as the mother of your children. Most men have both. Thank you so much for that, Emerald Edge. We appreciate you. Callie West, what's
Welcome,
up? What
welcome.
do you need?
You said, what do I need?
Yeah, what's your scenario for us that you're
Oh,
looking for a little bit of advice on?
oh, I have to be honest with you. I don't need any advice. I just want to just say hello to y'all ladies because I think y'all do a really good show. And I just heard of what the young, the older brother had to say.
Hmm.
Me personally, I'm 43 years old, and I could definitely say that. I mean, to give advice to another brother, I mean, the best way to meet a woman is just live your life. If you live your life, you will meet women who will gravitate to you. And I must say, I generally do not take any dating advice from women, but you ladies were actually giving them some good feedback. Having a hobby and doing things that you like. Maybe like you said, maybe he likes to. Maybe he's part of a fraternity. Maybe he likes skydiving. Maybe he likes to travel. I mean, there's a
Card
lot of
playing,
opportunities.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
right.
lot. Yeah, there's a lot of good ways that a man could meet a woman. One thing is, well, I noticed as a 43-year-old man myself, I never force the issue. I meet women,
Mhm.
when it's time to meet women. The one I have to be honest with you, with my luck, they just gravitate to me. And the main reason why is because I don't really focus on them. I'm more focused on, my career and, my life and my hobbies. I like to fish. I like to race cars. I have my own little hobbies. I'm an artist. I do a lot, quite a few things. So, What I would tell, the older, the older brother, I don't know what he's looking for, but the best way to find a woman is just to live your life. You will find people who will gravitate to you, and unfortunately, there are going to be some women that he's not really attracted to. But at the same time, he has to kind of look inside as well. You know, don't get me wrong, I don't really like big women either. But at the same time, if you don't want a big woman, you got to put yourself in a position not to need a big woman. I don't know if he's in shape. I don't know if he's going to the gym and working out. Like, for example, you mentioned that he should go to the gym to find women, and that's a good suggestion, especially if you don't want to find a fat girl. Go to the gym.
Yeah,
Go to the
absolutely.
gym. You know what? I'll honestly say I wouldn't even tell him to go to the gym. He sounds like one of the educated brothers. I would tell him to just get a jumpsuit or get a workout clothes and just start running around your neighborhood. Start running around your
That's a
community.
good
Take a
one
run
too.
on the beach.
Yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
I'm in Miami, so you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
you'd be surprised, man. Like I just go and run down on the beach. I just go run down in South Beach or run down at Miami Beach, and I meet people all the time. I have all types of flavors, whether it's sisters, whether it's
Mhm.
a Caucasian woman. They all look and they all speak, and there's many ways you can meet women. I don't know what, and also I don't know how his money is, but he might even want to think about relocating. I don't know if he's in the right city. Depending on where you're
Well, this is
located,
the
may have to
thing.
do with it
This is
too.
the thing. He's in Georgia, and if you're talking about the state of Georgia in itself, um, the women are they greatly outnumber the men here. Um, Especially in middle Georgia. And so I'm like, if he's looking to meet somebody and he doesn't want anybody that's trying to treat him like a trick and stuff like that, then he probably needs to go to where the pace is just a bit slower and to where he would be
Ain't it
at
slow in middle
an
Georgia?
advantage. It depends.
Isn't the pace slow?
Um, the pace could be slow, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the women are slow. You
Which
had
part of
like I was born in Greenwood, Mississippi. You would think it's just the country is most hick town in all of America, but if you get there and you come across one of them chicks, you gonna get that game brand on you, and they're gonna be after your money, and you wouldn't be able to look at them and tell that that's what they do. But I know
Mm.
quite a few women that came from that area that have that type of game. So it's like if you're looking to meet a nicer lady, I would say also try the library. If a woman is at the bookstore and she likes to read and she's in fairly
Mhm.
decent shape, it could be a certain thing that they work on together. And if he got his paper up, he might have to do the and not
That's a good
necessarily
point
go
too.
out on a trick roll, but you may have to do things that attract women. You may have to do things that's going to attract women. Like if you
But the
are
other thing
go
is
ahead.
being realistic too. Like, okay, you may not want someone that's fat, but if she's in the gym, and I didn't ask him, but like, what if she has a tummy and she's in the gym because she's working on it? Like, I don't know if he has any deficiencies or anything that he's trying to
Facts.
overcome, but also like being realistic, because we talk about women and Black women in particular and them not being realistic, and every Black woman thinking that they deserve a 10 or a man who's making over six figures. But the important thing to do too is not overlook someone because of something trivial, especially if you can see that they're committed to overcoming something that could be seemingly trivial as
I,
well.
I would
So
like to, I would like to, I would like to address that.
the fat women defense
One of
force.
the things
I ain't
about
telling him to get with nobody fat. I'm saying whatever the issue might be. It could be somebody bald head that he may not really like short hair, but maybe she's growing her hair out. Like, I don't know, whatever. Maybe she has natural hair and he prefers weave. Like, whatever it is.
and that's definitely true. In my experience, um, no man really wants to be part of no woman's weight loss journey. I have to be honest with you. It's just like a man. It's like you get with a man. Are you really going to be with a man who tells you, "Man, I'm broke. I ain't got no money, and I stay with my mama and stuff like
Women do
that."
that shit every day, B.
All right, okay. So with that being said, all right. So with that being said, it's only right that a man will kind of if a man wants a woman who's in good shape or in better shape, a man's gonna like what he likes, just
But
like a woman's gonna like what she likes.
that's
But you're
true.
right.
But you also have to be realistic. Like, do you have deficiencies? You want somebody that's not fat, but do you live in your mama basement? You want somebody that's not fat, but are you in a trailer park with a hole in the roof of the trailer
Right.
with buckets collecting the rainwater? Like, you got to be realistic too.
That makes sense. But I mean, I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. He sounds like an intelligent. He's a very articulate gentleman. You could tell that he knows how to speak. If
Yeah, I said if he has deficiencies, whatever.
Right,
it
no,
is,
I
be
understand.
realistic, and I'm not the fat woman's defense force. I don't care. I'm fat, and I already have a very
You're
in
not
shape,
fat.
nice built
You're not
husband,
fat.
so I don't even have to worry about that.
You're not
Period,
My
fat,
fool.
husband
girl.
is
Stop,
downstairs, and
man.
he is built
You ain't
like a Greek
Period,
god.
fool.
So fat
Period.
women
But you're not
strike
fat.
it rich every day. Like,
You're
my
not
husband
fat.
just got home from the gym. What am I doing? Sitting here talking to y'all.
Okay, you might consider yourself fat, but you're not fat.
I'm just saying they giving me crap because I said he should be realistic if he has deficiencies. Like I said,
Well,
I don't care if it's whatever it is. If you have deficiencies, I'm not saying the weight, whatever it is. Like, I feel like people should have standards and people should have requirements. And I feel like standards may be your requirements may be something that you're not willing to bend on, and your standards may be something that you may be a little bit flexible on. Like,
right.
some things that you require, and the weight may be like, I ain't bending on this. I ain't dating nobody over 150 pounds. However, I prefer that she has a degree, but I'll date someone that, has a good job but doesn't have a degree. Whatever. I'm saying certain things that you're willing to flex on, but certain things that you like, I ain't budging on this. I feel like that's
Right.
important.
Well,
No,
thank you.
and I agree. I mean, if you want the best way to get the woman that you want, my dad told me this a long time ago. The best way to get the woman that you want is to have, your money, because, you have more of a bargaining, you have more bargaining chips that way.
Well,
You have your money right. When you have your money right, and that necessarily might not even really necessarily fix this issue either. He might have to because maybe he does make enough money, but maybe he might need to relocate somewhere else because, like you said, if he's in Georgia, I've been to Atlanta. I know it could be, I know some people like the hood. Some people are a little more. And I have to be honest with you, some people might see him as a square. He might need to just maybe relocate to somewhere else, like Washington D.C. There's a lot of successful, good-looking Black women in Washington D.C. Maybe somewhere in the tri-state area, maybe the DMV area. But you just have to figure out what you want and then go for it. At the end of the day.
Well, Cali, West Miami, we appreciate you calling in. We do have a
Absolutely.
caller on the other side.
Of
But
course,
thank
do
you
y'all
so much.
thing. I'm gonna be tuning in and
thank you.
listening. But I just had to,
Appreciate you for coming up.
the reason why I chimed in is because I'm sure Dr. What's the name is still listening,
Still.
and I just kind of
Yes.
wanted him to get a man's voice. You could check me out at Cali, West Miami. I'm not trying to promote my show, but he could go and
As
shout,
you
see
promote
what
your
we're
show.
talking about over there. Yeah, I'm not
I'm
trying
not
to promote
about
my
to
show,
do
but
it.
I'm just saying that
As you promote
he's
your
look,
show.
yeah, look, the man's looking for
Good night,
answers,
Danielle.
and you can always check it out, and and maybe some like-minded brothers could maybe push him in the right direction because this is the type of things that we talk about all the time on this show.
Well, thank
Well,
you
thank
so
you
much,
again.
Cali,
We
West
appreciate
Miami.
you.
And I love y'all show. I don't always agree with you what y'all be saying because sometimes I be wanting to say
I'm
just
sure.
give y'all the business, but I love y'all show. I think y'all got a good combination going on, and I'm gonna
Thank
stay
you.
tuned in. All right, so I appreciate
Thank
y'all ladies
you.
for spending some time with me. Good night.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Next, we have Roger. Hello, Roger. Welcome to the panel.
What's good, bro?
Hello? Hello?
You play too much.
Yes, so I have a question. I have a question for you two. So I met a girl, right? And I mean everything it's been going so good. And she pretty, fat ass. She loves me to death, but I got a situation.
Okay.
What's your situation?
Can y'all help me with the situation?
What's the situation?
Well, the thing is, me and her been getting on real good, but I can't bring her home because I'm trying to make things come together like peanut butter and jelly.
What?
But the problem is if I bring her home, I gotta introduce her to my boyfriend,
Good night.
and I don't know how that's gonna go over.
can't
Is
even say what I was gonna say.
your boyfriend into girls too?
He has a sister.
Okay.
So what's the solution?
Bring her home and
Mhm.
let the cars fall where they may. Bring her home. See what's popping. Don't be no hoe about it. You got to take risks.
She might be about that poly life.
Let's go.
All right, I might do it.
Let us know how it work out.
I think I'm gonna jack off now.
Good night.
Bye. I hate y'all so fucking bad. yo.
Weirdos. Why you ain't make him cam up backstage? I thought that was
I
Roger
did.
Report.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not. Roger
link has
is
been-
not going to ever call in for dating
The link has been
advice.
dropped again.
Shout out to JTC. He says you
Yes.
niggas turned this into Jerry Springer.
Indeed.
Child.
Indeed. But in the meantime, I have another scenario that I think we should give some advice on. I got something else while we're waiting for our next caller to call in. Let's see what we think about this. This was very interesting. So I want to get your take on this.
If he wanted to, he would. Hear me out. I went on a date with a guy last week, and it was a good date. We had a fun time together. He's a big-time lawyer. He owns 3 to 4 cars. He's doing really well in life. You guys know I'm a model. I'm new to the city. Transplant. Don't even have a car yet. Like, still building up my life out here. Regardless, I expect my date to either pick me up or Uber me to the date. That is just my standard. The first date, he was a perfect gentleman. He picked me up and everything. He calls me today for a second date. He wants to go golfing. I said, great. What time are you picking me up? He's like, well, it's out of the way to pick you up. I just recommend you Uber to me and then we can go on our date. And then I wasn't sure if he meant me Uber myself or him Uber me. So I hung up and I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm excited for Saturday, but just to clarify. He calls me up and he's like, can you clarify your text message? And I said, I was wondering what you meant by the Uber. Were you going to call me an Uber or did you want me to call an Uber for myself? And he said, I recommend you call an Uber for yourself. And I said, oh, well, since this is a date, I prefer you to Uber me or you can pick me up. And he's like, oh, well, I think you could just do it yourself. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date. I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber. The notion that it's too far or too out of the way for the date, it's an inconvenience for me because now I have to pay for part of this date. I have a problem with that.
So, what are your thoughts? Young lady goes on a date, first date, guy comes to get her, everything is all smooth sailing. He organizes a second date and tells her, but she has to kind of figure out her own transportation. That's not cool with her. She says he needs to pay for her Uber to the second date in order for her to go on the second date. What is your take? What do you think she should do? Should she not go on the date if he Ubers? Is she not being realistic? What's your opinion on this matter altogether?
Number one, I think she should actually put on makeup to even out her skin when she comes online, because I'm not being a bitch about this. I'm being serious. It's shocking when you see her and she's not to say that everybody is, because we all have our days where we look better than others, and don't get me wrong, I get that. her look is shocking. And when you have such a look and you're like, well, you need to say this and you need to do it like that and you don't need to da 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 da. Okay. I'm past that. I'm past that. I am also a proponent of requiring exactly what it is that you want, but you have to be realistic about what your standards are. Not saying that because she is conventionally unattractive that she should have low standards for herself. If she doesn't have better standards for herself, nobody will. So I am actually she should have standards for herself. If she likes to be picked up and taken out, and that's what she requires, stick to those requirements, because that is not asking for a lot. That's not asking for a lot. If she wants to be treated like a traditional woman and these are the standards that she set forth, do what you do. I'm never mad at a person's standards and requirements, because ultimately that is up to you. That's up to everybody. Everybody should have some standards with how and whom they choose to date. And you have to figure out in a relationship dynamic, everybody has to figure out what's going to work for them and what's the most beneficial from them. We all want to benefit from our relationships. And I think she's entitled to that. Okay. It's just that her look overall is a bit shocking when she appears.
Well, I think that so personally, I agree that it's okay for you to have whatever it's okay for you to develop whatever standards you want as it relates to, dating. It's okay for you to develop those standards and hold fast to them and say, this is my standard. Her standard seems to be that the man has to take care of the transportation no matter what. And she seems to be very rigid in that standard. Despite her looks or whatever, she's saying, if a man wants to date her, he has to pay for the transportation. She does go into a little bit why she feels so strongly about it. And it's a very quick clip on, why she feels so strongly about why the man needs to pay for the transportation. And I want to play that and see if you change your existing opinion on, her or your take on her having this strong standard.
For this date, I have a problem with that. And when I think about it, you guys, like some women, my sister, for example, she won't even pay for an ice cream at the end of the date. And she's been dating her guy for a couple years now, but even the first few months of their dating, she refused to pay for anything. She didn't pay for anything. He was like, can't you just pay for an ice cream after dinner? And she's like, no. And guess what? She moves in with this man. They've been together for 3 years, about to get married. He picked that girl. He didn't pick the girl that was like trying to be nice and pay for her own Uber and pay for her own meal. No, he picked the girl that refused to pay for shit, refused to pay for anything for his ass, and he is in love. He's about to put a ring on it. He pays all the bills. They live together. He pays for everything. And yet, when they first started dating, he tried to play her. He was like, oh, can you just pay for this? No, I'm not paying for anything. Take it or leave it. He took it. So if he wants.
So I found it interesting that she's using her sister and what worked for her sister. I don't mind people having standards, but the more you hear her talk, and she has a ton of other videos where and this is probably kind of why I've developed this opinion of her, she comes off as selfish, like in a relationship, because she's like, my sister wouldn't pay for an ice cream. And she almost, she goes on to talk about she doesn't believe in paying for anything in the relationship. And so, partially my opinion is based off of hearing some of the other content that she has about how she feels about relationships. It's one thing to feel like a man should pay for the transportation in a relationship, but it's another thing to be completely selfish and feel like you don't have to do anything in a relationship. And then she has this strong list and long list of requirements that a man must do and what she expects a man to do when she's dating him, like pay for her nails, pay for her toes, nails, pay for waxes, pay for this, do that. I mean, just when they're dating, I mean, a long laundry list of things that she's expecting from the man when she's saying, I ain't giving nothing. And it's solely off the strength that she's a woman. And I'm kind of like, I get having expectations, but how and where do you show a man that you also are feeling him? When a woman is feeling a man, she ain't caring nothing about coming out of her pocket to buy an ice cream, to pay for a meal, to do, things for him. Like, I don't know a woman who, when she really was digging a man, feeling a man, that she cared one iota about doing for him. And so it just comes off as selfish and entitled. And I don't know if she feels like that worked for my sister, so this is the tactic that I'm going to employ, but it just doesn't look good. It's not a good look.
This is the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
If she was a bad chick, would we still have this same opinion of her if she was extra conventionally attractive? There are women on social media, let's say one of these IG models, and I've seen scenarios where a guy tried to fly a girl on Frontier and she was like, I only fly Delta. I only fly this airline. You can't lowball me like that. You can go pull that shit with them other hoes, but this is something different. I'm not one of these ashy foot hoes that you get to dog out and treat any old type of way. And the thing is, when it comes down to manipulation, when we tell guys what we aren't going to accept, guys are usually trying to come up to a standard. Another thing is, guys will talk all this shit, but we have seen time and time again what a man will do for some ass, what a guy will do for what he wants. If a guy likes her, the sky's the limit. And it's just what it is. If a guy likes you and a guy wants to be with you, no. And if he has it like that, no, you're not going to have to pay for anything. No, you're not going to have to pay for an ice cream after the date. And then I'm going to tell you where I have an issue with that. If you invite me on a date, don't look for me to pay for shit. If I invite you on a date, I'm not looking for you to pay for shit. That's just what it is. A guy, if we go out on a date and the guy expects me to leave the tip, no. Because if I was asking you out and I wanted to show you a good time, I want you to sit back, relax, and that doesn't prove how selfish a guy is, or excuse me, how selfish a woman is, or whatever. But if she has those type of standards and nobody meets those standards, fucking well, she's asked out. But there's no, I don't necessarily feel like there's anything wrong with having standards, but don't look for anybody to meet and exceed them. Especially in today's current dating market, especially with the emergence of the red pill, guys are looking at you and will call you all out your name for you even looking like that and having those standards. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not that girl. You don't get to do that.
For me,
and
I don't care nothing about. I don't care nothing about how she looked. My opinion don't hinge on how men is going to treat a woman. My opinion don't hinge on that. Like, I don't care what a man is going to say about how she looked. And I literally know attractive women that act the same way, and I'm still going to call them entitled, because I'm not hinging my opinion on how a man is going to feel about what she's saying. I'm hinging my opinion on her character. And literally, her character seems trash based off of the content that she puts out. Literally constantly talking about what she won't do in a relationship. And she never highlights, and maybe she will do some things that's not tangible, but she doesn't highlight that. All you talk about is what you won't do and what you expect him to do. And that makes you look like trash. I don't care what your face look like. The mess that's coming out of your mouth says trash, and that's what it equates to for me. Like, you have, and I feel like even attractive women who have those types of standards but come off as selfish and always saying what they won't do, this, that, and the other, you are entitled to. Like, I don't, my opinion wouldn't change if her face looked different. I just feel like, she's entitled, and she went viral, and I'm sure it's because of how she looks, her saying it, but not being an attractive woman. So I know that that has something to do with it. And that is because of the opinion of men. But, you know, my opinion doesn't really have it doesn't have much to do with her looks. It's just that she simply went viral. So that's why I saw the video. But when I looked at her content, I was like, wow, she just comes off as very selfish. However,
she does. But
yeah,
to me, she comes across as the basic IG grade chick,
she
as
says
the
she's a
city
model.
as the city girl grade chick. She comes across as one of them, and they will literally sit here and tell you, if a guy ain't paying for my hair, nails, this, that, and the third, if he ain't getting a sitter for my kids, what we got to talk about? What you want? Don't fucking call me. Don't text me. Send me a cash app. Let me know it's real.
My real talk, my friend, one of my friends, she's come on the show before. She's attractive. She took a picture with one of her male friends. I was actually going to showcase this. She took a picture with one of her male friends, and her male friend sent her a copy of the picture and said, "This guy just asked me about you." The guy asked her about my friend, but he circled my friend's breasts and her butt and said, "Who's this?" and pointed an arrow at her. And she sent a message back and said, "My cash app is ... you know, yada, yada, yada. I'll accept $1,000 if he wants my phone number." And the guy was like, whoa, like, damn, where'd that come from? He said, "You think I'm impressed because he like my tits and ass? What nigga don't like?" Like, she started going off. And the thing is, she's an attractive woman. So nobody had anything to say. And she posted it on her own IG. Nobody had anything to say about her saying that because she got a nice body. She's an attractive woman. She yellow. She red. You know, she's an attractive woman. Nobody said anything because she's attractive. And she said that, like, tell that dude my cash app is yada, yada, yada. He can send me $1,000. Like, how rude is that? And then for my friend to send me a picture where this dude circled my breast and my butt, talking about he interested in me. No, he interested in some tail, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I
not to smash. If he wanted her number, she said he asked for her number, and she said, "My cash app is yada, yada, yada. This, you know, if he wants my number, tell him to send me $1,000."
Hey, Keyshawn. Kenshawn, I'm gonna read the super chats and then we'll get to your question. Shout out to Dane C. He says, "What the hell? This the serial killer hotline show? No, it's our call-in dating show."
Who's the serial killer? What?
I know. Y'all just say whatever.
Whatever.
Shout out to Mr. Curlin. He says she got a mustache. Eddie Murphy, babe.
Y'all are ridiculous.
Shout out to JTC. He says, "I saw her on the cover of Horse Illustrated Monthly. She's making the bank. Don't hate." He did not.
Y'all are the reason that she has these standards, because if men are gonna, and I do have to say, I looked at her page. She dates white guys. So I think that also makes a difference. I do think that makes a difference. She did say, she updated that her and the guy did go out. He did send an Uber, and she went out on like 5 or 6 more dates with him. Things didn't work out with them, but not because he wouldn't send an Uber. So the guy didn't mind. She had that standard and she held that firm to it, and he paid for the Uber.
A shout out to Dane C, who says, "Concrete and Danny, hey, social media names that crusty lips woman, the most delusional woman on TikTok."
Or whatever.
Oh, child. Kenshawn, welcome. What is your
welcome?
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
We're good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Hello to everyone in the chat. Yeah, so my question is, I don't feel like why do I have to date? Like, can't like I just meet your parents? And then like we could end up like going through the marriage and then the honeymoon and then have sex. Like, is something wrong with that?
I think that that's very interesting. I think that women who are raised in a westernized culture are not are not conditioned to those types of practices. However, what you are describing is not necessarily foreign to like a Muslim woman or, you know, women who practice certain religions. So you might be able to find a woman who would agree to that, but she would likely be a woman who practices a specific religion, maybe Muslim or maybe, you know, Hebrew. Women who practice those religions typically do kind of follow similar patterns as it relates to, they don't date. They don't typically date. They have maybe, I know in the Muslim religion, I think it's called a wali or someone, or, you know, a chaperone will kind of like foster a connection between two people. And, you know, it's a short courtship and then it results in marriage typically. So that's not impossible, but women who are raised in Western culture, that is going to be a very foreign concept to them. And I don't know how many women would be on board for that. What do you think?
Sean, do you have your passport?
Yes, I do, and the visa.
Sean,
but
I would suggest you go to a land that women don't really get to play the type of games that American women get to play. And I think you would probably fare out a lot better because women over here like to date. We like to be wined and dined.
I don't think it's nothing with being used, because I think that's the purpose of her, is to use me, right? Is to use me. I'm not even afraid of that. What I'm afraid of is it, you know, something can be true, but then something can be equality, right? Equality in the aspects of allowing different types of relationship perspectives and beliefs, but then it may not be true. It may be okay to have kids out of wedlock, but then you have a bastard. The bastard now has to deal with the curse of the parents and so on and so forth. So some things can be okay because it's equality in the West. It doesn't make it true or right, and you have to deal with the consequences of that.
Where are you from, Kenshawn? What is your nationality?
I am from the Bahamas, but I have family in Atlanta, Flat Lake Shoal, Shenandoah Lakes, Union City. So I'm known to be around a bit.
What is the typical standard way of practicing courtship in the Bahamas?
I think you said it best. It's individual basis. I think you can be in a different. You can be in the West, and I still think you could have some moral values that would be Christ-like, for example. And then women can see that and be pleased with that because at least they know you're in order in some way, and not for the streets. But the thing is, they don't even. I think they look at us as lames, or we're boring, we're not exciting, and that it may be because most other women look at the choosing that way, and so it makes them want to choose that kind of guy as well. Meanwhile, like I said, if you go down the true road, you know, you still can get a better outcome as well.
Let me ask you a question, Kenshawn. Why do you think you haven't been able to find a woman?
Most of the time, and I think blackity black has to do with it. I love Black women. I love them, and I'm not discriminative of curves or anything like that. I just find that what we're discussing now, these women tend to want to trade money or career, or they've lowered the price. Like I would go to your father and court you and really see the values before marriage. They've traded all of that for like $40. And like you could still get the sex, and you may not get the relationship and follow through, but it's just not about sex.
So what has happened when you've been consistent with a woman and she's been consistent with you? What has happened in those situations?
We work. We both work. We both save. We always visit the parents and have meetings where we were on the way to doing things like, you know, becoming a union legally and stuff of that nature. And then sometimes things come into play not cheating or any wrongdoing, but sometimes the parents can take over. Sometimes the other, so the pursue always is to give the newborn baby in marriage a better chance of an outcome, and a marriage can be looked at as well as a wealth gain. You have the IRA, you have the RRA, you have the B340, of course, the um, your retirement. All of these things can give you big wealth if you're married, and sometimes the only time these things are offered are if you're a married couple. So there's a wealth plan to getting married as well and becoming a union, giving the children that you're going to born a best chance to have the environment.
What age range are you dating?
I would prefer over 30, or
Over
closer
30.
to my age. I'm not I think young women, well, in the West, young women tend to their aunts, their mothers, they tend to tell them, try it. Don't commit, just try things out. And so the more experienced women, who's 25 to 30, they would tend to be like, okay, dude, I'm done with that. And that's okay.
Where do you typically meet women that you have dated?
Uh, in the malls, downtown,
Okay.
because I like to socialize. I like to brighten up the room wherever I go, and I go to a lot of functions. I'm also on Clubhouse, um, and that's where I do a lot of my work. So socializing and meeting people and being rejected. Men in general, whether you think you're the alpha wolf or the lower lane, you just need to be willing to be rejected. Walk up to girls, say what you want to say, shoot however you shoot, be interesting, right? Continue the conversation and be willing to be rejected. And if she rejects you, just tell her, if you change your mind later, just know that I'm willing, to talk.
I would think that Clubhouse that you would fare well because first off, I find it interesting because you're a marriage-minded man and women have complained all the time about black men don't want marriage and da 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 da. And we know from this space that black men are saying that it's women that don't want marriage, but you have a black man who prefers black women and he is marriage-minded and he is, seems to be, have a good head on his shoulder, and you're socializing in a platform like Clubhouse where women would be able to get to know you and get to know how you think and your opinions on some of these more controversial or more trending topics, that would be a perfect platform for getting to know women for the purpose of dating. It's surprising that has not garnered good results for you.
It's surprising
actually
you
kind
say
of
that.
shocked.
It's surprising you say that because I'm a holistic health coach. That's what I do. So that's what I do on
My
Clubhouse.
husband has a background in that.
Oh, wow. We need to talk because I find it surprising you said that because I do nothing of the sort of dating or looking for the other, half of a woman. I don't do that on there. I help people with, getting the nutrients that they need, the holistic health, of course, teaching them how to cook the foods, sustaining all of the four parts of the body and all of that stuff, that good stuff. But on there, you have a chance to build your brand, and then people want to know if you're doing exactly what you're doing on Clubhouse, on Twitter, on Instagram. Are you living this? And what is interesting about Clubhouse is if you're living it, people are going to be galvanized to you because they're going to follow you immediately and try to do business with you immediately through your Instagram DMs or your Twitter DMs. And so if you do what you're doing here, ladies, for example, you would thrive. And anyone for that matter who has the personality and sociability to help to build and do the things that you love doing.
Thank you very much for that, Kenshawn. We kind of, when Clubhouse took off, started to do a little bit here and there, but having to build
That
from
is
the
so
ground
funny.
up. Yeah, having to build from the ground up, it was just kind of like having to put that work in, and then we're all, part-time content creators, we're full-time wives, full-time moms, full-time,
Yes.
full-time, we're employed in corporate, so it's just we didn't
Right.
have the time to invest
Right.
in it, so that's kind of
Right.
where we failed. But Danny, did you have anything else to offer? I mean, I'm just kind of baffled.
I'm
sorry.
curious. I'm curious as to what type of women that you meet in your prospective career. Because being that you're in a holistic career, I would think that you would come across a lot of decent women, especially that want the same things that you want.
That's funny.
Well, that's a fantastic point, because
Mhm.
I'm not going to go to the clubs. I'm not going to the malls on Saturday to meet the prospective women that we're talking about here. I'm going to go to church. I'm going to go to the banquets of the church, the eatings and the eateries that churches have, where other churches meet churches, or community sports events that churches do, where you can meet. And I think the church has done a bad job of making that outreach and kind of tearing into the way we see dating today. The church has done a poor job.
Did we lose him?
Uh-oh, we did. Hopefully he comes back. But it's interesting that you said that in his career, because as I said, my husband was into holistic health, and he has been for over 20 years. He had his own business before he moved down here. And he says that a lot of the conscious women, like, the Erykah Badu type of women, and, women who be saying they third eye open, they be thotting and bopping. They the biggest freaks and be
Don't get me wrong, but there's things to be said for the guys that are also in that field. Because I do know.
Men, they said.
Listen, just one for one, honey. So I do think it's interesting to me, because he does sound very level-headed, that he hasn't been able to meet anyone and to sustain a relationship, especially. I think he's from the Caribbean, but I wonder where he resides now, because that's interesting.
Yeah, he said he has family in Georgia, so I don't know if he lives here. But the interesting thing is that he does seem very level-headed. If he lives in Georgia, they say that this is Sodom and Gomorrah, honey. This may be the wrong place to be
I
looking,
think that this could be Sodom and Gomorrah. Don't get me wrong, but with the way women are out here thirsting for men, child. We went to Costco yesterday, and we walking through Costco. A bitch followed me and Curlin and our children with her 3 kids down every goddamn aisle. And so I'm looking like, I'm walking, and I'm walking, and Curlin walking, and she just looking and shitting, and I'm like, what you looking at, sis? I ain't say nothing, no, but like, bitch, stop following us. I mean, every time we went down the aisle, I look up, there she was, and I'm like, why's she following us down every aisle?
The women here, like I said, they have no shame. I told you, women have hit on my husband.
Girl,
right
I
while
was sitting there like, wow, like, is Sister George gonna have to choke a bitch?
Baby, they don't mind letting you know that they're interested. They be like, maybe we could be a throuple.
Look at his messy.
B, why B gotta be so messy though? Like, why?
Baby.
Like, oh my gosh, he messier than a little bit. Anyways, Kenshawn said that his internet just restarted. No worries, Kenshawn. No worries at all. He's from the Bahamas. Yep. It's kind of surprising to me as well that he hasn't found a lovely lady. Roger, you ain't getting back on here. I don't know where you going. Good night.
Roger back.
Yeah, Roger ain't coming back up here. He better go back and do what he said he was about to do with his hand, because he ain't coming back.
Maybe he finished. Hold on, girl. We got Jason Reel's network up here. Hey, Jason.
Yeah,
hey,
what
Jason.
up? What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
It's not really. I don't know why They saying it's hard to find a mate. It's not that hard. Shit, I turn them down every day.
Oh, okay. You beating them off with a stick.
It ain't that hard. Shit. All you got to do is go out there. But you got to. This is what's going on. A lot of people looking for validation in other people. You got to have that validation with yourself first. You got to love yourself. You got to be very. I'm not trying to say be very arrogant, but you got to be in tune with yourself more. People that's not happy with themselves, they're gonna always have trouble finding a mate to be with. You got to be happy with yourself. A lot of these people are not happy with themselves. Social media just makes everybody thinks like the personality. Nobody wants to think for themselves. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Who's thinking for themselves nowadays?
Jason, you're saying it's not hard, but these are men that are actually looking for relationships. Like, it may not be hard to find somebody.
I just had my cousin. Mm-hmm. Now she'll come off as, if you didn't know who her parents was, you would think that, oh, she's either white or Spanish. Mm-hmm. And she's telling me she is pissed off that my twin brother introduced her friend, because she took him out the friend zone and tried to put him in the man zone. And he started acting all funny, talking about trying to act like, because my twin brother said, suggested Kevin Samuels to him. And she said, I don't know why he even introduced that man to somebody that I'm seeing. And now he want to act funny and shit. And I told her, well, kick him to the curb. I was like, shit. I was like, because, I was like, what Kevin Samuels may not work for him. Because he was like trying to tell my cousin, oh, you in your 40s, you done, nobody wants you. He started popping that Kevin Samuels shit. And that's when I started to see that, these personalities, they really get involved in people's real life. You fucking up shit that you got going on. If it ain't no problems, why are you making it a problem?
I was highlighting this comment from Roman King, and he was saying that, not to love yourself advice again. There has to be attractive qualities there for people to gravitate to. Having self-esteem is just half of it. Roman, I do think, though, it is half of it that one would need to conquer. I think that loving yourself will, if you don't love yourself, people can kind of pick up on that. So if your self-esteem isn't where it needs to be and it's in the tank and you don't believe in yourself and you're not confident, women pick up on that in a heartbeat, and it can be very off-putting. Yeah, it's off-putting to women.
Yeah, they see you as a trick. Now every man need to be asking themselves the big question: are you trying to be her man, or are you trying to be her job? A job is somewhere I'm uncomfortable. You're gonna pay me for my time.
Wait, huh? She gotta pay you for your time.
I said, are you gonna be her man or her job? That means the girl is uncomfortable being in your company. So anytime that you come around her, you gotta pay. So now you are a job.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. I do.
So if you her man, she doesn't give a fuck whether you got money or not. Because I don't buy into that shit about, I understand women want a man that's going to be financially stable to support himself and maybe spread a little towards her way. But most women that's into men, they're not really worried about the money like that. If she's into you, she's not worried about your money. If she's into you, she wants you for you. I mean, because like I always tell every female that I've ever been with, it's me first, everything last. I don't give a fuck about your bills. I don't care about what you got to take care of. And I'm a father that I'm a single father, plus I'm a stepfather, where I raised my stepdaughter from 3 years old. She just had my granddaughter this year, and so I'm coming from a standpoint where I've been married, and that was the stepchild that I have. That's the woman that I married, because I refuse to be sitting up here getting girls pregnant, not being married, and all of that. you know, because I seen that coming up, and I was like, I ain't want that to be me. But the whole thing is, didn't any woman come into my life thinking they was going to use me? That was out the question. See, a lot of men are being used. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about tricks. We're talking about tricks that's getting mad because they got to spend money. That's the real deal. They'll tell you they're happy. They'll sit around on these channels and say they happy to spend money. Are they really happy? If they were happy, why they complaining? If you got so much money to splurge, you should have no complaints. Let's just keep it a buck. What man complains that can spend? I mean, even with the passport bros, you willing to splurge all that money? You shouldn't have no complaints if you spending money like that. You shouldn't be going overseas if you spending money like that. You should get out. You should be able to find whatever you want here. I mean, is it me or are you sisters seeing this? I mean, if you spending money, you should be able to get what you want.
SYSBM, so I don't know that she sees it that way, but you know, she's in support of SYSBM. I do understand
but they say
what
they're going
you're
out to
saying.
have a good. They saying they're going out to have a good time. You can have a good time right here.
But we do have somebody else waiting in the back.
All right.
Jason, thank you so much for coming through.
All right, I love y'all, sisters.
Thank you, Jason.
And I'm pro-black too, Concrete. I'm pro-black too. I don't do the outside. I don't do the outside interracial dating.
Good to know.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Have a good one.
You too. We're gonna let MOT up.
Damn,
what's up,
y'all let him off the
MOT?
hook. Y'all let him off the hook, man. I want to talk to this dude. I want to talk to this dude about
I'm
free
sure
choice.
He's still listening.
Yeah, it's like this, man. Like, dude, you don't have to pre-qualify yourself to anybody. It makes you look stupid as shit. You don't have to do that. You don't have to claim that you're pro-black. You don't have to put none of that stuff out there. If you off the market, you off the market. Like,
I think he's single. He said he divorced.
No, he said he was married and had a stepchild.
He said his
or some shit.
ex-wife.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, well, I'm wrong. So, but here's the problem that I have here. It's just that men need to stop trying to counsel men through these women. That needs to stop. Like, these women are so far ahead of these dudes. There is nobody who's going to counsel these men through these dudes. If you got top billing, I'm talking about Hollywood people getting divorced and getting ran through. Like, that should be the end of anybody claiming that they running anything around here. And I'm sick and tired of these dudes claiming that women do everything for them, but the women are never claiming these dudes. These dudes are always claiming the women. The women are never claiming these dudes. Like, the next time somebody says that, you got to have some proof. Because with the level of choice that these women got, I think most of these dudes are lying about their actual access and all that kind of stuff. To try to push themselves past another person or make themselves feel better about where they're at, right?
But look what happens when a man comes up and he says, "Hey, I'm striking out with the ladies. What are good places to meet ladies?" Like the comment section want to rag on him. He lame, he a simp, he this, he that. So men aren't going to be forthcoming with that information because it's all jokes and people clown them when they are open. So they rather brag and pretend that they got a bunch of females.
But this is why it's grounds for shutting up about the entire situation, period. Because most dudes that I like when I owned the club, the dudes who kept me in business were game dudes. Wasn't lame dudes, it was game dudes. The guys who wanted to buy all the strippers, drinks, and all that kind of stuff, it wasn't really dudes who they thought was doing that. It was dudes who thought that they had it with the women like that, who were doing that. Like, every time, like, do you go to other cultures, you don't see dudes like this. But it's so ingrained in people that they got to get out here and start buck dancing to the fullest about about how they winning out here. And it's like, bro, listen, a lot of people taking L's out here, whether you got money or not. And there's nothing wrong with the passport bros or the SYSBM because we don't talk about y'all. Y'all talk about us. Because, and here's the thing that I don't like about it. Y'all don't ask for this PR service from these guys who are doing this. Y'all don't feel bad about dudes going out there and enjoying themselves. These dudes feel bad about other dudes going out there and enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
That's the problem here. It's not the women, and it's like, okay, most of the women are doing it for attention nowadays, but
Mhm.
nah. I mean, like real life dudes going out there, like if they ain't there, then they ain't there. So all this online posturing, like you the big old pimp, like man, them days are over. It's over. So I really
Yeah.
wanted to talk to that guy to kind of see, like what actually did he have a problem with, with the passport bros and SYSBM, because I don't think black women ask for this free PR service. I think these dudes are just posturing like they are women for some reason. Like they get in contact with their inner bitch and then they try to speak from a woman's perspective. Like I don't understand that. So I
Mm.
really want to catch one of these dudes on so that way I could just ask them some simple questions and see if we could just come to a realistic agreement about leaving people alone and respecting people's actual free choice. But damn, I couldn't find them. So thanks for having me on, y'all.
No
Thank
problem,
you,
MOT. I guess he
MOT.
just feel like if a passport, bro, if you got it like that, then you shouldn't have to go overseas to be successful with the ladies.
I mean, it's not a requirement to be like. Listen, if you're trying to make yourself the object of every single woman in America, you're gonna be a busy ass dude. One, you're gonna be busy out there trying some lame stuff. Two, you're gonna be busy out there doing some lame stuff. But dudes who
Right.
actually got it like that, they're not talking about it like that. They don't have to tell you, and oh yeah, concrete, I'm pro black too. What? Why? All right. Thanks for having me on. Y'all have a really nice day.
Thank you, MOT.
All right.
A shout out to Bronze Bird. He says, "You're complaining about complainers. Stop it, bro. Sit down." Thank you so much for that, Bronze Bird. Shout out to Uncle Stu, old man on the block.
Thank you,
Thank you
Uncle
so much
Stu.
for the super chat, Uncle Stu. Ken Sean is back. Ken
Yes.
Sean, what's going on? Ken Sean, are you there?
Uh-oh. Ken Sean? Uh-oh. If you're there, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just wanted
there we
to
go.
mention that I was a total failure in making. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes. You
Yeah.
said you were a total failure in what?
How about now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I was just saying, there's a lot of failures I failed, and I'm not
Uh-oh.
I'm
Your
not
sound went
afraid
out.
to admit it, and I think it's one of the things that I have to carry with. It's one of the things that I have to carry with me. It's like a badge of honor, because making dumb decisions is one of the things that I thrive in, and I'm sure when we're younger, we all do. My sound went out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
going
sounds
in and
like.
out. I'm not sure if you're in an area where your reception isn't too good, but it's going in and out.
Okay. Well, do
Yeah,
you
I
want
was
to
trying to
play
hear what he
us?
was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. He was trying to say he was a failure at something, and I couldn't hear what he was saying he was a total failure at. But
Right.
yeah.
That sounded deep. But what
Mm.
else you got, girl?
I do have something else I want to share. Let me share something else real quick. So I want to get your opinion on this one, child.
Part 2. You got me F. CKE, the F dude kicks a chick out his hotel room for not letting him smash after flying her out and spending $5,000 on her.
You feel me? I done spent damn near 5 G's on this. She talking about she don't want nobody touch her. Man, you got me up. You mean, well, you can leave. First of all, hold on. Man, first she talking about she don't even fly Spirit, right? Talking about she don't fly Spirit. No. Okay, so I get her Delta. That's damn near 600-700 last minute, right? Okay. So plus her bags, check-in, all that shit. We go get her the Uber, all that shit. Then I'm damn near at 2 G's already. So we get here. First night, I'm being a whole gentleman. I've been a whole gentleman. Have you not? Have I not been a gentleman to you though? Have I not did anything? But you should have knew what it was if I flew you out here though. I don't want. Why come out here then? What do you mean? So y'all, this is the Instagram model. You know what? I ain't gonna even be no petty ass. Put your name on there like that. Because you're recording me. Okay, so why would you come halfway across the country knowing you didn't want to on that? You though. I didn't say you did. You know what it was though. You know what it was. You want to spend money. I spent 5 G's on you. What are you talking about? That's what you 5 G's. What you talking about? So look, she did. Oh, let me talk. Shut up. Then we about to go eat, right? So Shawty talking about she hungry. So Shawty, call him. Pack all this shit. I'll help you leave. Pack all this bum up. Pack all this shit. Pack all that shit up. It's not even about it's really about the money because it ain't about nothing. You feel me? It ain't about nothing. So listen. We get off the fight. Let me tell the story. We get off the fight. Okay. So I'm like, we went back to the room. Well, she like, I'm hungry. I'm like, all right, well, let's go to a little restaurant or something. You know, I'm trying to get her something to eat. She like, oh, no, I only eat the best. I want some crab legs. That's nothing. So we go to the restaurant. I spent damn near.
Part 2.
So we've seen a number of situations. We've seen a number of flued out situations. And this was one that happened some time ago. And I wanted to get your take on the flued out situations. People say some of them are scripted. This one seemed to be pretty genuine to me. I went through quite a few and I found this one and I'm like, this one seemed pretty real to me. I'm not sure if it is or it's not, but I wanted to get your take on the whole flued out situation. We've seen a number of women left at the airport, women stranded without a way back home, women crying on Instagram, talking about being put out of hotel rooms and yada, 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 because they get flued out and they don't want to have sex. And, a guy is pissed and, a multitude of issues as a result of chicks being flued out. So I wanted to get your take on that situation, on the flued out situation, as well as the video that we just played.
Okay. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If you spent $5,000 on a chick and she ain't even gave your ass no ass yet, that's your fault. You're a grown ass man who should have some goddamn sense about himself. Don't get me wrong. Tricking is a good way to get to a woman. We get it. But you need to be a grown man and have some limits on what you do. And then if you spending the money and you ain't got it like that, that's not her problem. That's your fucking problem. It looked real. To me, the whole thing was some hoe ass shit. And don't get me wrong, because I'm gonna get on her ass too. But for the dude, no, you played a stupid game and you won a stupid prize. That's why your ass didn't get no ass. You was out here tricking on a chick who didn't even like you, who didn't remotely like you. Then you done took this chick out of town and you might as well have spent the time with her. I'm looking at him. He's actually worse off in this situation than she is because he's supposed to be the man of this situation and men are supposed to know better, point blank, period. For her, women get so mad that niggas are taking them on coffee dates. Niggas want to take you to the donut shop. Niggas want to take you to a walk around the park. This is the result of that. If you going all the way out of town all the way to y'all in the same hotel room. You don't know what type of man this is, only that he's spending money on you. And it sounds extra sugar baby-ish, but that could have turned out to be a dangerous situation because that man has spent a certain amount of money on you. Now, if it was me and I was him, I would have had my cousins jump her motherfucking ass when she got back. Personally, that's what I would listen. She'd been assed out. But I'm just saying, like, we talk about how men don't want to do this, men don't want to take us out, men don't want to, they being cheap, they don't want to do that, they don't. But when you deal with women like this create those types of problems. But when you have a man like this, a man should have enough goddamn sense to go, you don't go take a bitch out of town with some, you can go out of town with a bitch you ain't never smashed before. What? Why they do that at? It's stupid.
The thing is, I think that you're spot on. However, this ain't a regular chick. He said this is an IG model. He said this is IG model. He was about to blast her. So this is an IG model. So I think that's why he spent so much on her. Like, this ain't just a chick that he met at a mall somewhere. This was an IG model. So he was trying to show out. And then she running up a bag though. Like, I need the crab legs. Don't take me to Golden Corral. She was doing the most. Like, I ain't flying Spirit. That's a death wish. Let me fly Delta business class. She running up a bag knowing she don't have no desire to sleep with this man. Like, I feel like he was a stone cold goofy, but I do think like women also have to be careful of playing like stupid games, because there could be some dire consequences. Like, we've seen men, and no shade, but the chick Mercedes, like that white man who broke into her apartment, like, you don't know what people will do and what limitations people have as it in regards to how far they'll go when they spend their money. Like, people have strong attachments to their money. You can't be playing with folks like that, and then you out of town with him in his hotel room, baby. Listen, I'd rather pay my own way. I'd rather not.
Like, why go if you know that you're not going to give this man no ass?
Yeah, telling him she don't like people touching her and stuff. Like, and now I will say this. Also, there is no guarantee when you fly somebody out that they're going to sleep with you, number one. But if I'm not even remotely sexually attracted to you, I ain't going. I'm not even accepting the offer. If I'm not sexually attracted to you, nah, I'm good. I'll catch you next time you come to the city.
Let me ask you a question. So before you got married, if you had flew your husband as your boyfriend out, would you have expected some ass from him? Some D from him?
If I do anything, if I take you to McDonald's, if I buy you a coffee, I buy you a coffee from McDonald's. If I buy you some McDonald's cookies, I'm just saying.
Concrete said if she buy your ass a Happy Meal, you got to drop it.
Sir, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I'm the same way, because I'm like, shit. I went 5K.
You know,
and she was like, "Don't touch me."
Like, I wish I would. $5,000, sir. Listen,
concrete.
Yeah.
See, this is gonna get in trouble.
Some flower bringing. If I spend $5,000 on somebody,
listen, and I know all the feminists is gonna come for me. Listen, this is a horrible thing to say. I already know I'm not an advocate of this type of behavior, but y'all ain't me. Either he was gonna give it or he was gonna give it. It just
listen, I feel you. Like, it's gonna be some flower bringing. If I spend $5,000 and you try to play games with me, like, you ain't getting out this hotel.
Would have woke up with a mouthful. Listen,
I'm blocking the door. I don't know how you getting out, but you ain't leaving out this door. Cause no, like no, not at all. I'm just saying. We just speaking hypothetically too, like not, hypothetically. So that's just me, right? But I do say, a chick can be digging you, and then she get there, and like real talk though, this has happened to me before. I've been interested in a guy, we're vibing. I meet somebody, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling him. Everything seems to be cool, and he do something to turn me off. Like, I'm like, this dude whack, he lame, so there are no guarantees. But like I said, if I have no desire, I'm just not accepting the invite.
No, and the advice to women who end up in a situation like that, pay your way and be done. That way, the guy isn't looking to F you up. He isn't looking to hurt you. He isn't looking to harm you, because a lot of people, if you were in that situation and you have invested in a person and they weren't your cup of tea at some point, you don't want to feel used. Nobody wants to feel used. So pay your way if you end up in a situation like that. But
you know what this makes me think of? Obsidian and that silly contract. Like, so if you guys don't know, Obsidian,
you remember the contract?
Listen, Obsidian talks about like when he did a whole series on dinner whores, or women who are using men for dinner dates. And he said that his workaround to that was he makes a woman sign a contract. He makes a woman sign a contract before he takes her out on a date. And she has to agree to sex at the end of the date. Like, who would even? He says he sends her an itinerary, and it says, sex is gonna happen at the end of the day, and she has to sign it. Like,
can you imagine opening up your email and it's like, we'll go to dinner, we'll have drinks by the bar,
so fast. Like,
and
I'm
then
blocking
like, you gotta drop that. You got to pull them down.
Listen, have you heard about those groups where they blast men from different cities?
Yeah.
You ain't heard about those Facebook groups?
Yeah,
every city.
I have.
Okay. I put him in that, like, this man sent me a whole contract trying to get me to sign it. Like, I would blast him. Like, sir, no, that is just crazy to me. That is outlandish. I'm not signing that foolishness. No.
No.
Absolutely
but,
not.
the thing where women kind of have messed themselves up in the game, there are too many guys who have the stories that they've been able to smash at point of contact with women that wanted them, versus when they're trying to get to know a man. And so, I surveyed this myself, and I'm like, okay, a lot of women have screwed on the first date, the first point of contact, but require other men to work for it, and men have caught on to the game. So men are like, if you don't like me from first point of contact, then it ain't what it is, and you're not going to use me. So I can't say that men are wrong for expecting a little ass, especially after 5K.
But I'm also not going to say that women are wrong for, like, if I'm not attracted to you, I'm not attracted to you. Let's not act like attraction isn't a real thing. And like, if I ain't attracted to you, I'm not attracted to you. Like, I don't feel like women should have to apologize for not being attracted to certain men. Like, some men gotta grow on you. And like, I'm not going to apologize because I wasn't instantly attracted to you. I've met guys and had to get to know them, and then I got to know him and was like, dang, he really cool, or I like the way his mind work, or I love a man who can teach me things. Like, I was instantly attracted to my husband because he fine as hell. But the more I got to know about him, I was like, oh my God, like, whoo, knock my socks off, because like, there's so much I can learn from him and so much I can glean from him that it was alluring to me. I mean, extremely sexy. So sometimes, the attraction level grows, and sometimes it's not there at all. And you have to hope that it develops. And, I understand men feeling like, oh, okay, if the attraction ain't instant, I don't want to fool with her. But I understand women not being instantly attracted. That's not something you can control.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Wholeheartedly agree. Girl, let me read these super chats. A shout out to Uncle Stu, old man on the block. He says a
He said
fake
it's fake
ass
too.
video.
It
Yeah, it's
might
fake.
be.
We got you.
It might be.
But you know, the scenario has happened to
Yeah.
people. Yeah, so we thought we'd talk about the scenario.
Yeah.
A shout out to Grinch. He says that boy wanted a meat wash massage.
Oh my gosh.
Who says that?
Jeez.
Shout out to JTC. He says, good thing he's a gentleman. A Chris Brown type would have swung. That's an untold danger of the IG model lifestyle. Trey Songz would have took this shit. Allegedly.
Oh, jeez.
Allegedly.
Okay, so the activist said, don't let me spend my money if you ain't attracted. If you can give cooch instantly, I can't. If you can't give cooch instantly, I can't spend my money instantly. So, but do you think like there's some merit to that? Like, and I guess so, because you know, I do think that there are some women.
It makes the dating game so screwy because everybody has an expectation off top and up front. When women screw, this is the problem. Women will screw whomever they are attracted to without requiring the person that they're attracted to do anything.
Pretty much.
If they find him fine and they want to give him that ass, they're gonna toss that shit to him like hotcakes. He ain't even got to talk too much. Matter of fact, if he talked too much, he could talk himself out of because it's already presented and ready for him.
Yeah.
And you almost like when I see comments like this, me as a woman, I do want to be like, no. And then I'm like,
I get it.
Got a point. What can we say?
Yeah.
What can we say? Got a point. Shout out to the mad scientist. He says different men have different allowances. Some have to pay to get in the club. Some get in free. Some get invited to the VIP. Get a woman you can't afford.
That's life, though.
You said a word. Yep.
That is life. Like, beauty opens doors for you that, you know, people who are not conventionally beautiful will never have access to. Literally, there are clubs in Miami, in California, in LA, where if you don't look a certain way, you are not getting in at all. If you don't fit a certain aesthetic. And there are women that if their legs ain't opening, if you don't look a certain way, or if your bank account ain't got a certain amount of zeros in it. And that is simply life. And in those clubs too, having a certain amount of money can buy you access. So money is the great equalizer, but that is simply life. Like, unfortunately, everybody isn't blessed to be a dime, and everybody ain't blessed to have, you know, endless zeros in their bank account. And a lot of us are average, and a lot of y'all may be below average. And that's just kind of what it is. Like, ain't no sense in, I feel like we spend so much time trying to figure out ways to cheat the system, or trying to figure out ways to make sure that, oh, well, you know, I don't want, you know, this to happen to me. So like, you literally spend so much time playing these, BS games that, or trying to invent new ways to try to cheat the system to ensure that you are not, taken advantage of, or you're not one of the many people that, like, you feel like you try to find new ways to ensure that she gonna give you some A before you buy more than a coffee. And it's like, there's nothing that you could think of that someone else hasn't already tried, save for like, which even that, like, just avoiding dating. So now the most recent thing is, saving yourself and going to a different country and finding women from different cultures, because as you guys have already surmised, this is a Western thing, and there are too many women that are playing these games for you to have to sift through and find ones that aren't.
Okay. Shout out to MOT. He says, I think a woman has officially signed a death wish once she accept money like that under those type of circumstances. I fully endorse this guy getting a manual refund if services
Wait
were
a
not
minute. Wait. Hold on. Wait, hold on.
a manual refund,
Hold
child.
on. Wait a minute. What you saying now?
What's a manual refund, child?
MOT, you know I'm a little slow. I got a
What's a manual refund?
Wisconsin public school education.
Right.
What you talking about now? Let me tell you something. I agree with the first half of what you're saying, though. I do think that because you don't know who you playing with, like, and who willing to take that risk. Like, it's just certain stuff that I ain't even willing to do. For a couple $100, maybe I'll make good money, and my life is too precious. Like, who playing them type of games? We see stuff go south and go sour too many times. Who wants to be the one? Like, who wants to be that one that, you know, a crazed lunatic, you trying to get over on a crazed lunatic and he come after you and it don't end good.
Guns blazing, baby. Like,
I ain't playing with them.
No, for sure not. Shout out to y'all though, but Concrete Girl, you ready to wrap it on up?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to wrap it up. I don't have anything else to add. This was very different. We had a few people come up, and thank you for everybody who came up and presented scenarios to us. As I said, we were not trolling. I found it interesting that some of the men felt as though women,
we got one more child.
We got
Big
one more.
E.
Yeah, all right. What's good, E?
E, you there?
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I can see his cam up in the back, but
yeah, me too.
But he's frozen in the back. Big E, come out and come back in.
B, you a liar, because I did not cut Danny off. Not this time. I do cut her off, but not this time. Yeah, we'll let E come back. She cut me off too, baby. She do it too. So it's what and what.
It's different.
Anyways, hopefully E will come back. How do you get a refund from a snack machine? Oh, MOT, you play too much. MOT.
Oh my God. How do you get a refund from the snack machine? Do you ever beat the snack machine up?
Typically, you got to leave a note, and when the vendor comes, they'll call you.
You do that? Like, if it's stuck on the edge, you don't just show this. You don't do that.
I have, of course, I have. But
Girl,
I was
about to say,
yeah, you know, I have. But you know, I've worked at facilities where, you know, they know the vendor, and it's like, leave a name, and we'll have John give you your $1.75 back on Monday. You know,
if that shit like right on the edge,
yeah, I'm going to, of course. You know, I got hips, so
that's my exactly, child. Because I'm going. This ass got to be used for some, child. We'll see. Anywho,
yeah.
I'm so done with y'all. I'm so done with y'all.
But anyways, yeah, I thought that this was interesting. I found it interesting that they were saying that men shouldn't be asking women for advice. First of all, who knows women better than women? We may not date women, however, we do know women, and we, you know, would know where women frequent. We would know, you know, what type of games women play, what type of games women running on men. We know about the intimate.
Wait a minute,
women are doing.
Concrete. They have proven that they know better than us.
How?
I want to say. So you remember when we tried to warn them and put them up on game and they was cussing our ass out? Remember that?
When? When they cursed me out. When did we try to warn them and put them up on game?
You don't remember when we tried to.
I mean, we'd had 300 shows.
This was very recently, though, Concrete.
We tried to warn them and put them up on game.
The white strip in your head is turning extra fucking blonde.
Girl, listen. You have to like we talk about so much, and we doing three shows a day every time we shoot.
Ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of controversy around this, though.
Oh, P. Okay, that's different.
We tried to put them up on game and what they told us.
I find that to be different for the simple fact that it's about a specific type of woman. That's not about women in general. So I wouldn't have even gotten that because that's about a specific type of woman. And this is more generalized. We're talking about women in general.
Yeah.
But
part of women in general.
I mean, she is a part, but that
she would run game like women in general.
Yeah, but our conversation about her was solely about white women. And now we're talking about women in the general sense. So that's why I didn't tie the two.
Oh, okay.
But I still feel like women know women, more than men do. Like, we can't tell y'all nothing about masculinity and manhood and men. Y'all argue us up and down and will curse us out if we dare try to pretend that we know more about manhood, masculinity, and men. But y'all are saying that men shouldn't come to us and talk to us about or seek advice from women about women. Who else would you be asking about women besides women?
Facts. A shout out to Mr. Curlin. He says, that dude knew what it was. Wait, ain't that what y'all biggest hater was trying to convince chicks to do? Babe, which one is our biggest haters? You know, we got a lot.
I know, right?
No, we
our
got
biggest
a lot.
hater.
Who our biggest hater, babe? Because, child, they be coming for our throat.
So often.
Matter of fact, where the hell is Melanie? Did she get locked up yet? No, never mind.
Oh my gosh. What else you got? Thank you to everybody who joined us. Again, we appreciate y'all bringing y'all scenarios to the forefront. This was very different. I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
He said the video game chick. I'm so lost. I'm lost.
You know, I like you gotta spell it out for me.
Right, me too, child. Yeah, honey. Angela, honey, you know how they say if you know, you know. Child. Okay. Oh no. Oh, child.
She is. Jesus. Ooh,
she is our biggest hater. I don't know how the hell I forgot about her.
Like, I try not to think about her, but the obsession is real.
Baby, she like us. I think she mad.
But anyways.
Anyway, shout out to everybody who came through. I actually think we gave really great advice to the men that came through. I don't think we gave them I don't think we told them wrong. Yeah, I think we did good. I think it was pretty interesting. I think we did good.
Yeah, and I don't think anything we gave was blue pill advice. I think that we're very general. We just simply talked about places where Dr. Steele could meet women. And we just asked questions of can Sean. I don't think that the advice we gave, I wouldn't consider it blue pill at all. It was very generalized. Yeah, and above board, in my opinion, but y'all gonna criticize no matter what. Why y'all ain't come up here? I was hoping Kid Clouds would come, Eisen would come, JTC
you know he need the dating
advice,
child. Kid
Why
Clouds
y'all ain't
definitely
come?
need it.
I was looking forward to hearing from y'all, the main ones, main antagonists.
That part. D-Mac just be hating on us just to hate, child.
D-Mac too.
D-Mac, he really needed the advice, honey. We should have. The link is still pinned for you, D-Mac. B could have used some advice.
B. Whew.
B really
B.
need the advice. So you could have
Yes.
came up, B. We wouldn't have tripped about it, you know. With MGTOW Universe, we know he needs some advice.
That was not awful advice. Telling him to listen.
The B said he don't need our advice. Go.
He a lie. He a lie and a half, baby.
B, you needed our advice, bro. Come on, you needed it. JTC.
He a New York player.
Player.
Oh my God, please.
The fact that you saying player
is an indication that you need our advice.
Who the hell says this, Jaquan?
Fish fry.
I mean, I can, but still, like, who says that? Y'all make me sad.
You right, D-Mac. I can't. I got one thing to tell you about him, and it ain't gonna be positive.
I can. Bring extra raisins, baby. They got it. Telling a nerdy 52-year-old man to holler at women at the gym. Well, the thing is, he would probably want somebody attractive, and I'm saying, like, you have some women that could be very serious about stuff at the gym. And if he goes to like them gyms where them older women be at, you know, them old ladies be trying to get in the shape.
They be having silver sneaker programs for people over 50 at
That's
the gym.
my point. Like, what you talking about, B? You wouldn't know. You ain't at the gym. So ticklish ass. So ticklish ass. Stop, B. B is not no. Lord have mercy. Y'all out of line. B is all men. My bad, B. I was just saying, B. Them goddamn clap. Child, I be ready to fight. I really do.
Oh, and not in the pharmacy line. Not in the pharmacy line. Isaac,
but
y'all are awful. This is why he ain't asked y'all for no advice, because y'all just rude.
All facts. All facts.
Anyways.
Anywho, shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody that sent us some money, because, honey, I started to do a birthday stream so I could be like, send me some money. But,
with the
you
little
know,
money pen, with your money pen on you.
You know, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a good scenario. Let's say you were on YouTube, right? And you married, right? And let's say a piece of your equipment broke down. Would you expect your husband to get it for you, or would you expect your audience to pay for it?
I would get it myself.
Oh, okay.
If YouTube is a stream of income, I would probably get it myself.
Oh, okay.
I do have a scenario that I can ask you real quick, or I'll save it for next time. It's a real life scenario about somebody. It's detailed, so I'll save it for next time.
Oh, okay. No. It wasn't a shot fired. I was just curious. I didn't shoot a shot. I didn't fire. I just asked. I was just curious, like what concrete would do. Because I had thought about it, and I was like, what would I do? And I was like, I'm married. Why would I be on YouTube?
It depends. Like, I mean, if you said a piece of equipment broke, and would I expect the
D-Mac, you so fucking messy. No, her equipment broke down and she needed some equipment, and so I was like, oh, I would go to my provider husband, even though, you know, I would get it myself, but I would ask, you know, like,
yeah, if I didn't get it myself, I would just tell my husband, like, hey babe, I need such and such.
Right, that's not weird, right?
Getting it. Yeah.
But if you're making money already off the would you still, like, I would understand if she didn't have a husband and she was like, she needed something. But
yeah, I didn't know she was married, but anyway.
No, I just thought it was interesting. I no, it's not. We're not. Listen, I have not even broached any of her content. I haven't tried to break down anything that she says. I was just curious, like an advocate for marriage and telling women that they need to get somewhere and sit their ass down, and telling women that they need men in their lives as protectors and providers. And that messaging seemed to be in opposition of that to me. And I just thought it was weird. I thought it was weird. So but I'm
it
happy
was
that
if they
she's
wanted to
married.
help. Oh, okay. It was if they wanted to help.
Yeah, but why would they want to help with that when they already super chat?
Oh, she lives in San Francisco and doesn't work full time. I'm pretty sure her husband is doing well. Maybe she wants to do this for herself. Maybe she needs to be working full time. All right, B. All right, B always saving somebody in the comments, but he be giving us hell.
Baby, they
where
gonna
you at with your cape for us? Anyways, I'm hungry, so I don't have anything else. Like I said, I'll save my other scenario for next time because it's a good one.
No, I'm not. No, low key. It was just an interesting scenario to me because I'm always under the mindset, if you're promoting marriage and you're promoting a certain lifestyle and you're saying what women should do and what men, you're kind of saying that women should go for a certain type of man. And not to say that you have to be a gold digger or anything like that, but she's a pretty woman as well. And I think that her, it should be certain things that you don't necessarily have to ask for. And your equipment is one of those things that I wouldn't necessarily get on here and ask for, especially as a married woman. That's my opinion, though. And I wanted to know what Concrete's opinion
They on
was
the
on
Mammy
that.
Mount Rushmore. How dare you? And we know you were guarding them. Like, god dang, you worse. Like you, hope they paying you extra. I hope you making 6 figures the way you guarding.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. But yeah, I was
I don't know what the heck
with Obsidian, but Obsidian was on
Obsidian
to me. You know what's interesting? I think because no, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know. I don't know. Cause I don't know. It's interesting because a lot of men content creators do that. So
well, they said Obsidian has always been like support black male media and his light bills and stuff, like he has always pushed the whole support black male media. So
yeah. Sister George and my baby with the bun over here should be the biggest mammies because they got a man and married. Period. Fool. Period.
Obsidian was on welfare, anti-welfare. B, you messy as hell. Like B. Its audience was his welfare. Listen, B. Wow. Yeah, anyways. I refuse.
Y'all hell in these goddamn chats. Damn, B got like all our look at B child. B said you didn't took your boy advice and got the bun, honey.
I'm not doing this with B.
What I be curious is how you get your bun so tight. Cause when I tried it, child, I thought my ears was gonna be.
Girl, this mess sloppy as heck. If I shake too much, it's gonna come out. I just twist it.
No, it looks good. It looks good.
Thank you. But it's just a little messy bun.
Anyway, we done been on here for a while. We will see you
Mhm.
guys back here on Sunday. I hope you guys
Yeah.
stay safe. Yeah, that's it. Stay safe.
I got nothing.
Use condoms.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's it.
What she said.
He said,
Mount
can't
Mammy
wait
more.
for the Mount Mammy more candidates.
That's kind of funny. I don't know who would be on there aside from Shay Sade, Chantel Simone, because it don't seem like they don't want what's her name on there? Gosh, why am I drawing a blank? What's her name?
Oh,
I can't think of her name. She was Chantel was attacking her. Jesus Christ.
Courtney.
Stab Courtney. They don't want Courtney on there anymore.
Man, they really did try to kick Courtney off of Mammy
Yeah.
Mountain. That's some whole
I
shit.
don't know who else would even be on there aside
Danica?
from I guess
They will put
Danica would be on
Danica.
there.
They will put Danica on there.
They'll put Danica on there. Danica is like a homie though. Like she keeps it real,
I
but
think
she's
it would be
very
Kendra D.
supportive.
It would be
Oh
Kendra
yeah,
D.
Kendra. Kendra D is at the top. She got to be at the top.
Facts.
They will put
She
Danica
should be
on
at the
there.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danica, Shay Sade, Chantel Simone. Those four.
That's Mammy Rushmore.
Yeah.
Or that's
I
what
feel
they
like
would
I'm
say is
missing
Mammy
somebody.
Rushmore.
What's the chick's name? It was somebody that used to be on the Lapeef network. That I feel like it's not Chantel Simone. Not Kayla.
Kayla.
I feel like it's somebody else.
And she was on Lapeef?
I thought so. Maybe it is Chantel. What's Chantel Simone is from the islands?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe I'm thinking of Chantel Simone. I feel like it was somebody
Or
else that's
Island
not
Girl
from...
Q. Because Island Girl, but she wouldn't be
Okay,
on
I think it's
Mammy Mountain
Chantel
though.
Simone that I'm thinking of. I feel like it was somebody that was in the space that was from like a Muslim background though. That was affiliated with Lapeef, no? Maybe
You're
not.
Amira.
Amira.
Amira could have made it, but I don't know what happened to her. Because she's not on there anymore, but
yeah.
She could have made it.
I think that's a good 4. That's a good 4. Yeah, for sure.
They would have.
We definitely won't be on there at all. We can't even be on Stone Mountain. We can't even be carved on Stone Mountain. They're gonna be like, they still sisterhood.
B said,
Not at all.
Jessica X. She doesn't do enough content at this point. She could have been up there though.
Yeah, she's definitely a pick me though. I could see Jessica X. Yeah, she could be the 5th person.
We could have been up there, but you know how we do. We're gonna cuss y'all ass out.
We ride the fence. But anyways,
Yes,
y'all will get cursed out in a minute. I'm too pro-black, so there's that.
And y'all know I got that sisterhood blood running through me, child. I be trying to get off of it, but child, it's in my soul, honey. They gonna say after y'all bully Jessica off YouTube, B, you need your ass beat.
You tried it.
Child, that was the other way around.
You tried.
How can the unmarried ones be on top? Juju, we've been trying to figure out the same goddamn.
Juju a whole mess. Juju a whole mess in these streets.
We've been trying to figure it out.
You just have to uphold black male talking points and be loyal to the manosphere and black men, and that's the requirement.
Yeah.
So
Eisen is hell. Eisen, you hell, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Hell.
Whatever.
But I've been
Anyways,
saying
that's
bye
it.
like the you know how
I
let me
know.
tell you about a Sag woman. We'll say bye 18 fucking times and still be
Y'all
sitting
just
here
like black
talking.
people. You know, they be walking to the door, but have 10 more conversations before they make it to the door.
That's
Baby. Whew. That's
But
you.
for real, we gone. Y'all be safe and behave as much as y'all can, and be careful, player. I don't believe he no
player from the Himalayas.
No, he said he was a player. Child, I'm done.
If
Anyway,
he don't
y'all.
sound like Jerome's in the house.
I said Jerome's in the house. Okay.
Let me stop. All right. I don't have nothing else. Peace out, family. See y'all on Sunday with a dope topic. We'll have something interesting for y'all on Sunday. Yeah. We'll see y'all back here on Sunday.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.
Thank you.